So I will announce this meeting. This is Harold Zawadzki. I'm the chair of the Fairfield Board of Assessment Appeals. Today is Tuesday, March the 30th, and we are beginning our meeting to conduct deliberations and vote upon appeals properly brought before the board. And I'm calling this meeting to order, and I will ask our recording secretary, Prue, to please do a roll call to indicate we have a quorum for our meeting. Thank you.
Okay. Kathleen Griffin?
Here.
Okay. Harold Zawadzki?
Here.
Ronique Patel?
Here.
Judy Slayback?
Here.
And Catherine Giff?
Here.
All right, this is Harold. Those are the 5 members of our board that are present this evening. We may have other members joining later and some members dropping off, and we'll announce those as we go. So we do have a list, an aggressive list to work through today. I see that of the people who are here, Judy, Kathleen, and myself, we all have appeals ready to present. Judy, Kathleen, would one of you ladies like to go first? Kathleen, I can't hear you.
Yeah, let's let Judy go first. I put myself on there, but I'm not sure I'm that ready. So if Judy's got some Greenfield Hills, I'd rather get those taken care of because that's a neighborhood, there's a couple neighborhoods that have been hanging around for a while.
Okay, we've got a half a dozen or so of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll thank you very much, Kathleen. And what I'll do is I had some prepared from last night, which we didn't get to. So I'm going to go to those. Those are the ones we're talking about.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's see what we got.
Sorry about that, Judy, for yesterday.
What? Sorry about what?
I was doing my appeals and didn't give you enough time to do yours.
It's absolutely fine, Ronique. No worries. No worries. Okay. All right. I'd like to do appeal number 443. Let me see if it's on. Is it on here? Tell me it's on here. Yep, there we go. And I just need to get one other thing ready here through my other meeting notes. One moment. Sorry, guys.
Oh,
All right. Now, here we go. All right. This is appeal number 443. Property is located at 971 Hulls Farm Road. It's Barry and Nancy Fox, represented by Chris Russo. And the appellant's opinion of fair market value is $2,350,000, and the town's value is $2,855,900. They did submit an appraisal for the property.
Did you motion, Judy?
Pardon me?
A motion.
Are you looking? What?
Oh, yeah. I was asking if you did a motion. A motion to approve?
Oh, I was like, what is he saying? So I'd like to make a motion to approve the appellant's request of $2,350,000. Thank you, Ronique.
No worries. This is Ronique. I'll second that.
Thank you very much. Okay. So they did submit an appraisal. They paid $3.25 million in October 2nd. of 2020. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's it. Holy-
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I was like, they bought
This is
it
definitely-
in
I did
October.
Um,
The field card does say that that included a lot, or maybe that was the sale in 2007. I don't know. Seems a little,
the buyer made the decision to overpay. And they made a decision to overpay for the property, and even they overpaid for the house. This is what they're saying. I have a little note on my own little notes. I'm really uncomfortable with this. I mean, it's market value. I don't know how to justify it.
This is Harold. Yes,
I don't know why you have an appraisal, but we have a purchase price of a purchase.
we do.
I agree. And one of the standards that we've been following is if the purchase price is close to the reval date, we stick with that. And the town has even lowered the assessed value from that, appraised value from that. So I'm going to call a vote unless there's further discussion. All those in, yes, Kathleen.
Sure. I just want to make sure, Judy, in his hearing, that was their only thing, is they said they overpaid, but they didn't show you why or gave no reason why they did it. That's what they said.
No, they said I have little notes. I have notes that they paid the 3.25. It's I have something about it's less than 90,000 the buyer paid. They made the decision to overpay.
Okay.
And that was what I heard. That's what I wrote down. They made the decision to overpay for the house. They wanted it. So, but when it came time for the appraisal, the town appraisal and the value, they still wanted it less. And our value is $400,000 less than what they purchased it at. You know, so I have a tough time with it. I really have a tough time with this.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Any further discussion? Then I will call a vote. All those in favor of granting this appeal for the requested amount, raise your hand. All those opposed, raise your hand. It's unanimous. This appeal is denied. The vote is 0-5-0. And Prue, if you could please call the votes for the record, I appreciate it.
Okay. Appeal number 443 is denied, and the vote is 0 in favor, 5 opposed, and 0 abstentions, which is unanimous.
Thank you.
I guess there's no way for us to raise the assessment to the purchase price, huh?
No, you wouldn't be doing that. No.
Oh, I would be. Okay, thank you.
Well, I would say, and other members may confirm this for me, but the statutes do allow for the Board of Assessment Appeals to increase the valuations if they see fit to do so. And it's an item that would have to be voted upon, I believe, but we do have the legal authority to do so.
Thank you, Harold.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we'll go on to the next one. I really felt for this lady that came in. This is appeal number 11. The owner's name is Ian Milley, and the property location is 200 Burr. And her opinion of fair market, appellant's opinion fair market value is $926,235. I move that to approve the appellant's fair market value, her request, And by the way, the town's value is $1,129,500. Second.
This is Kathleen, I'll second it.
Thank you
We have a
very much.
second from Kathleen.
Yeah, I want you guys to look at page number, I think it's page number 4. She's had some issues with this. I think the town is mixing up her property along with her neighbor's property. She has no updates on this house at all, at all. And there's a little concern, well, there's a big concern that you might be able to see. I see. I mentioned that you should look at page 4, but I want to read part of page 2. I'll read it for the record so you guys don't have to. I'm also concerned that my property was mistaken for my neighbor's property, 220 Burr Street. And when 220 Burr requested a permit to add on their septic field, they listed her address on the permit. She had to call the town and notify them on the mistake. And also the square footage is listed incorrectly. 220 Burr is listed for 3241. And she's mentioning her neighbor, but with the addition, it's 4,217 square feet. The reason why she's mentioning that is because that assessment is it should be more than hers, and it's so. There was some concern there. Page 4. What she did, I appreciate it. And I'm going to tell you, I could tell that she was very, very stressed out over the whole process. She was a lovely person, very concerned. And she did her best. She came as prepared as she could possibly come. The property has a lot of deferred maintenance. There's no updates there. There's a concern. And you can look at page 4 and you see how she appraised value. She decreased it 10%, which is below the 12% main decrease of the 6 adjoining properties. I think maybe we got to talk to her, think about condition on this property and the depreciation. And I think she's very much in line. So she's given you her field card. She's done nothing to the property since she's purchased it. Nothing. So.
Any questions or comments? I'm just starting to look at the field card.
Yeah, this is Ronique. I was looking at 220 and 200. I don't think they're confused with each other because I just looked up 200 Burr Street on Realtor, 2.2 acres, and that's what we have on the field card, and also the square footage on Realtor 4762.
It was the building permit and the septic. I think there was some confusion with the building permit on the septic that was listed at her address. So, and that was her neighbor's property. That was her neighbor's building permit, not hers.
Yeah,
So
they see the permit pulled on the neighbors on 11/2019. So I do show that would have been corrected then. But
yeah, this is Ross. I don't think that would have anything to do with the assessment. It's a permit for septic. We wouldn't even list that permit.
Yeah, she made a mention of it, and I want to bring it to the board. But she doesn't have any updates there. The Burr is a heavily traveled road over in her location. She doesn't have any updates. She's not asking for an unreasonable amount. I think she's very reasonable, and I'm really all for this. And she was stressed out. You could see it. So, not that everybody that is stressed out should always get a reduction. That's not it. It was a little, but I really felt that she had a very good argument.
But this is Harold. There is a history of changes to the property. There was a court judgment to reduce at one point in 2010.
right?
We don't know what the sales history is of this home, do we?
No, she's been there.
In there.
She's been there for 20 years.
Right.
I'm sorry to ask you, Judy, what is so wrong with the card? I mean, it's hard for me to tell from the letter. Is her card like way too much square footage? I'm sorry.
No. She was mentioning about her neighbors, and she was concerned that the town has got a couple of things wrong. Everyone, with regards to that permit, she was concerned about that, and she wanted to bring it to somebody's attention. So that's why she brought it to my attention. That's why I'm bringing it to your attention.
Okay, but she's not saying her field card is wrong. I was just getting, I don't know.
She did not say that. No, she did
Oh,
not.
okay. Sorry, I was trying to read through the letter and I get confused with all the numbers and the addresses and verbiage. That's my bad. Just want to make sure I understand it. Okay.
This is Ronique. She did give a comparable sale, and that's at where is that? 340 Burr, which sold on February 27th for $915. The square, I'm just comparing the two now. It's a little smaller for acres, and it's smaller for square footage. 340 has 3351 square footage. Hers is 4762. So it's quite a bit difference. And then the acreage, not too different. The appellant is at 2.2, and the and 340 Burr is at 2.09. And that sold for $915, and she's requesting for how much again?
It is 926 to 35. And then you look at Martingale, there's another one for $1,050,000. That was also built in 1989, and with the square footage on that, it's about 4,000 square feet. And a very large deck out in the back too. And so I really don't think, and that's a quieter street. Burr is a busy street. It also has a lot more curb appeal than this property is subject.
This is Howard. Looking at the card, there are some adjustments on the land. In general, neighborhood 54, did the values go up or down in that neighborhood, Ross, as a result of the reval?
Looking at my map, down.
And yet her land value went up from the prior reval.
Yeah, this is Kathleen. She appealed and had a BAA appeal in March of 16. So that's probably why she went up, because she was taken down by the BAA in 2016. And she had
so that's
court prior to that. Yeah, so she's come in pretty much every year. If you look back at 2011, she had no change from the BAA, but she appealed to Superior Court, got a change from the court decision. Then she came back to the BAA in 16 and got a reduction. So how much she got in 16, I don't know, but that's probably why. And in the notes you see it too, court decision, Judge Hiller, and then in 2010, her court judge. So she even had one in 2007. So she's been to court twice already, then back to the BAA in 16. So that's probably why she bounced up as opposed to down, is my guess.
Monique wants to talk.
Yes,
Yeah.
Ronnie.
So one thing that's really interesting. So I'm still going on that comparable 340 Burr Street. She did put a picture of the Zillow listing, and on the Zillow listing, it's showing 340 Burr Street is 4,263 square feet, and on the field card for 340, we have it at 3,351.
Oh, don't go by Zillow because agents put a number in for square footage. They add this, they add that, they add the other, and sometimes don't go on that site. Don't be concerned
Oh, I
there.
was reading the square foot wrong. My apologies. So, so that one has a lot less living square footage than the. So I got it. Never mind. Thank you.
So this is Harold. So if I understand correctly, Kathleen, you're saying that she did get a reduction and then that reduction fell off with the new revaluation. Is that what happened?
This is Kathleen. Again, I'm speculating, looking at the notes and looking at the history that she's been to court twice. Every 5 years we do a reval, right? So it looks like she went to court in May of 2007. Then she went back to court again in July of 2011. And then she went to the BAA, in the next reval in 16 and got a reduction from the BAA in 16. So that's probably why she didn't go to court in 16 is because she got a reduction in 16. So whether she'll go, if we deny her, whether she'll go back to court, but that's probably why she gets taken down by the courts and then she bumps back up in the revals because she's been taken down.
Well, this is Harold. It appears that her assessment has gone up approximately $100,000 from the prior map.
Right.
Would it? And since the neighborhood values have gone down and she's bounced up $100,000, would it be worth considering taking her back to what her assessment was previously, which was, if I did this math correctly, I think $1,029,200.
This is Kathleen. I think if she proved her case, why she needs to be at 926 or whatever, at 926 rather than $1,000,001. She talked about being confused with her neighbor, but I just wish that there was sales data to support her number. And I'm not saying she won't go back to court again if that's what her history has been. She may continue to, to do that, but it's not like she has an appraisal for us and she doesn't have any sales data. So you could do that, but without her saying, look, I have wetlands. Every time I come, you guys have to adjust me, please fix it so I don't get adjusted. But I don't hear her saying, I don't see her saying that. Ross may have more information in the backup than I'm seeing on the card, but that's why I don't tend to support a decision like that just because I think they might go to court and therefore I'm going to give them what they want so they don't go to court. I would need a reason, to reduce them, a good reason, the sales data or some other reason, other than to say she has no updates, but I don't think that she didn't provide an appraisal from when she went to court, right? She didn't provide any, photographs, or did she? No, just some comps. And that's why I said someone was going through the comps a little bit, right? The 220 Burr, which is her name, but that wasn't a sale. The 140 Burr, is that her comp?
No,
340 Burr.
Going down the comp road, like trying to find the sale too, and like Monique, I was looking at 340 Burr, and she has 14. So 340 Burr sold in February of 2020 for $915. It's got 3,400 square feet. She has 4,800 square feet. I mean, an extra 1,400 square feet is a lot.
Yeah, but conditions, there's a condition factor as well. So, that we need to take into consideration.
So that's good. And I was wondering what years they were both built since they're so close to each other.
Well, I can get you that. If you give me the numbers, I'll look it up. I can look it up quickly.
It appears that the subject's house was built in 2000.
2000, right.
So that means just about everything is going to start to go also.
Right. And the one that sold was built in 1995.
So it's older.
So it's a little older, but might have been updated.
Yeah, you look at a
But do we
photo.
have we don't have pictures of her interior, right? No.
No.
but she probably hasn't updated it in 20 years. She's been there. So,
And it
but
does seem like 200 birds more superior.
pardon?
I'm thinking the appellant's house is more superior than 340, based on square footage, the style.
What is the acreage on 340? Is it 2
They're all
acres
two-
as well?
Yeah, I mean,
2 acres.
2.09. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have sufficient information to vote, folks?
Now, hold on, I just want to look at 340 for a second. Looking inside, you know, there's some impressive trim in that. So even if it is smaller, there is the millwork in there, and the finish work is pretty nice. But it's smaller.
Yeah, and look at, I mean, I don't think her house looks dated at all on the field card picture. It looks pretty impressive. No?
Right.
No.
You haven't seen inside, trust me. When you see inside these properties, it's different. And if she's telling you that it's, you know, that there's been no updates, that's, you know, that's there too. Hold on, I'm not looking at you guys. All right. So,
Well, and the field card just, I mean, the picture does look like it's got, you know, it's got a porch, it's got a turret, it's got this little room on the side. It's got interest. It's got some architectural interest. I mean,
but you don't know about inside or the mechanicals. So
Right.
that's the other thing.
definitely
So-
don't.
What did, Harold, you mentioned something about bringing her back down to the 2015. What number was that?
If my math is correct, I believe that number was 1,029,200 thereabouts. But if I look at 220, did we look at 220 Burr Street as a comp?
Did it sell?
It sold, it closed.
For 0, it was a
May.
family transfer, I think. Same name, same last name.
Okay.
Oh, it sold for 500,000 in 2011, but it's probably new. It was, well, I'm not sure what happened. They must have completely redone it then.
It has a rental price of $850, but I'm looking at other information. It's a 540. It was on the market
The
for
new
quite some
build.
time, but it got passed to a family member. Is that what we're seeing?
I see this is Kathleen. I see the same last name being transferred back and forth from 2011 to the sale date of May 13, 2020. It's the same last name, same, back and forth in trusts. So I assume with $0 amounts.
Okay, I would think that we should have had better information, better comps presented to support her case of such a,
And
what I think is a good size reduction. She did
And
get
220
increased
Burr.
for the previous year, but that's because some adjustments had fallen off.
So the court
And 220
appointed adjustments have fallen off, which has caused that. Isn't there any way for us to bring those adjustments, maybe for a condition or for a traffic factor, to bring it, to help her out a little bit?
Well, certainly, you could always make a motion, or anyone could, and then we would vote on the amendment, and then vote on the appeal.
I'm trying to make a case for her by looking at the comparable sales, and I'm just not seeing it. Like, I'm trying, like based on the comparable sales, but I just don't see the price that she's requesting.
I was trying also, but
And
if
she has a code already of 0.9 for the street, you know, access, she says 0.9. And her excess acreage, this is the lowest condition I've ever seen at 0.25. I generally see that excess acreage at 0.5.
Yeah. Her value's in her house. This is Kathleen. You know, her house is
Yeah.
her house is appraised at 719. You know, it's in the structure. She's got a depreciation code of 4 on the property. You know,
Percent good, 80. It was built in 2000.
That's not bad at 220 or whatever it is, $230 a square foot.
We should, by the
I'm
way,
ready for
put our 7-minute timer on, right?
that. Yes,
Well, that's why
please
I
do
suggest, I suggest we vote. All those in favor of granting this appeal to the requested amount, please raise your hands.
I'm gonna vote.
I have 1 in favor. All those opposed, please raise your hand. I have 4 opposed. The vote is 1-4-0. Drew, would you please call the vote?
Sure. Appeal 11 is denied with a vote of 1 in favor, 4 opposed, and no abstentions.
Thank you. Judy, you want to continue?
Another one. This one is gonna be a lot easier, okay?
All right.
Let's see, do we have it on this list? I hope, appeal form number 470. And thank you for bearing with me on that one. Appeal number 470, this property located at 842 Reading Road. And the owner's name is Joe Flores. The appellant's opinion of fair market value is $1,055,000. The town's value is $1,196,100. And, you know, he actually purchased sales price of $1,055,200 in November of 2020. So I see no reason why not to give him the, you know, that is his value. And you see that he's got, if you look at the appraisal, it's $1,010,000. But then he purchased it for $1,055,000. That's what he is looking for his appraisal, for his fair market value. And I absolutely agree with that. That's what he bought it for.
Excuse me, can I interrupt? Was there a motion on the table?
Oh, did I make a motion to approve? I'm sorry. You know what? I've had a day.
That's okay.
Thank you. I make a motion to approve appeal number 470. The appellant's opinion of fair market value of $1,055,000 at 842 Reading Road.
I second.
I'll second it,
Thank you, Harold.
buddy.
Okay. Any other discussion?
This is how, well, as you said, this house was purchased 11 months prior to the reval period. Is that correct?
Wait, 1 month, right?
Oh,
One month after.
It's 1 month
1
after.
month after, yes. All right, 1 month after. That's
Right.
quite close.
Got there's sewer appraisals, or I think there's some pictures of some deferred maintenance as well. So I mean, I see every reason to grant this. It's what he bought it for. I don't think we need to spend time on this when we have a purchase.
Okay.
I'm ready.
I've got no questions, so.
Okay, I'll call a vote, make up the time for the last one. All those in favor of granting this appeal, please raise your hand. All those opposed? No, none opposed, no abstentions. The vote is 5-0-0 to grant the requested amount, which is $1,055,000. Prue, could you call the vote, please?
Okay. Yes, appeal number 470 has been granted with a vote of 5 in favor, 0 opposed, and 0 abstentions, and it is granted in the amount of $1,055,000.
Thank you. Thank you, Prue. Okay,
All right, I'm looking. I have a couple more. I'm just trying to get to my notes here. So bear with me while I do that.
of course.
Okay. Appeal number 60. This is owned by Tony Pham. The property is located at 680 Old Academy Road. I'd like to make a motion. I'm going to remember to do it now. Make a motion to approve the opinion of fair market value of $1,175,000. The town's value was $1,712,400.
Catherine will second.
Thank you very much, Catherine. He had a recent appraisal report he submitted by Smith Appraisal Services of $1,175,000. He actually purchased the property in $999 in 2018. I know it's not 2018 anymore, but he's just giving to you, a little background of the property. And we also have the appraisal for $1,175,000. And I mean, it can go from buying at $999 or just under $1 million in 2018 to almost doubling to what the town's amount is for $1,712,000. So that's a crazy number based upon even what he purchased it for. So the $1,175,000, along with the appraisal that's attached to it, is a reasonable price increase. He didn't steal it for $1 million in 2018. He played market value.
Just curious why he had the appraisal done. Don't really know why.
He refinanced.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yep.
So this is Kathleen. He was, no change to BA, but that was in 15. So I'm just trying to backtrack. He bought it in 18.
Right.
It's an unqualified sale. Judy, can you just see how, if it was in the MLS and how long it was on for at that price?
Sure, I'll look at it. Hold on.
And this is how also, I see that there was a change. It says change company informal. I don't know what company, well, perhaps that was the
Reval.
company. I see initials MF.
Mike Fazio, I think.
So there was an adjustment from 1,332,870 down to 119,8680 as assessed.
When he purchased it, here, let me go over the property history for you. It was on, oh my gosh, okay. It went on the market first in 2013. And it was marketed in 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017. And granted, it started at $3,395,000 in 2013. It went progressively down. 2.8 in 2014, 2.850. In 15, it went down to 2.6, and then it went down to 2 million in 16. And then in 17, it went down to 1.8, 1.750, 1.650, 1.500. And then it went down again in 2017 at 1.400. And the sellers, I think what happened is maybe why it wasn't qualified is because the sellers, here's what the listing says. The massive $400,000 price reduction from last listing price to ensure immediate sale. So they were just absolutely done with it because it needed a lot of work. And it actually says that the property needs work, has open space, it's elegant, entertaining, but it needs some, it's well maintained, but it needs some updates. And it was priced for an as-is sale. So that's what happened there.
And this one was
This is
built in
Kathleen.
Go ahead, Kathleen.
No, I was just gonna say, so the appraisal was done a little bit earlier, right? Because I was just looking at the sale dates that are listed in the appraisal. Sometimes these are hard to see, but I think they're all May 19, July 19, 9/19 sales, right? The Hillside, Old Hickory, Queens Grant. So they're a little bit older. I don't know what the date is on the appraisal.
Well, you said it was November 12th of 2019. That was the appraisal.
That was the appraisal. Okay, so that would be the reason why there's the so they're pre-COVID, no, the pre-COVID or whatever, pre-reval comps.
And it says refi, like Judy said.
Right.
And this is a 1981 that looked like it was owned by the same person and eventually went to a revocable trust. And we can only imagine that that was a single owner who probably, got old and spent 40 years in the house before it was sold. And it's a huge piece of property. It's 6.5 acres. So the assessment is half land. I mean, it's like 800,000 for the land.
I know.
And 800,000 for the, so, that those land costs really do add up. It's nice to have a lot of land, but, an $800,000 appraisal for the, town appraisal for the land, that's a lot.
Yep. So
So you can see where it gets, and that may not necessarily translate into fair market value, that's just, so, and then it has $100,000 in outbuildings, so I'm sure that's a pool. I mean, the pool is valued at $98,000.
This is, I think I saw something where there's a separate building with 1 bedroom, 1 bath.
Right.
That's probably with a pool, but still, I mean, your pool has $100,000 in the appraisal. So I feel better about like why and Ross is raising his hand.
yeah, I was gonna say, this is Kathleen. I just want to know why we got it. If this is really market value, why we got it so wrong. So is there something we're missing here? That the town didn't get it even close. So maybe Ross can speak to that.
I mean, off the cuff, I don't know, but there appears to be the second building looks to be substantial. I'm just seeing if I can pull up a picture of it. Yeah, we have the second building as having 6,847 square feet. So there's a substantial, and I don't know for sure what it is. It looks from the aerial like another house, but I don't think I have a image of the front. Let me try my other aerial.
Look at something. Maybe is that possibly a pool in that dwelling?
This is Kathleen. There's a
Oh,
There's
no,
a
there's a
four-car
pool
garage.
already. Right, I saw it. That's what it is.
That was the timer. Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. Nobody can miss that, right?
Detached garage, 1 full and 1 half bath, sink and a loft, used as office, built 2004.
Yeah,
And
it's a 4-car garage. It's above the garage. If you look at the realtor.com.
VA reduced value by $254,000.
Yeah, this is Harold. If that's a garage, then it's for quite a few cars. Could be a barn, could be a studio, could be a garage.
Well,
all
again,
the
the
above.
property, 6.5 acres, I'm sure it started as
Yeah, bear
something.
with me, I'm gonna get a picture up,
Yeah, because this is Kathleen, because Jeff Smith adjusted 25,000 for that building, right? He says outbuilding, studio W/F, and the others don't have it, so he gave a $25,000 credit for that, and 25,000 for the pool. We have the pool at 100,000, and we have the outbuilding at what, 100,000 as well?
Actually, I don't see the outbuilding, but I.
No, I think the 6,000 square foot building you're looking at is the house. I mean, somehow something got screwed up because there's not, I can't see there's a 6,000 square foot house. And then there's also another 6,000 square foot outbuilding. That would have to be on the appraisal, and that's nowhere on it. And not that I'm looking at. Let's see.
The field card says residential or, whatever, outbuilding of 97.9. And when you go to that section of the field card, it's all in ground pool. 97,000 for the pool. That $25,000 adjustment, I've just seen that on a number of appraisals when it's an accessory apartment. I've just seen that number as an adjustment several times and was this done by Harriet Busker?
No.
Okay, we
That's
discussed
Smith.
it. Okay, we had
That's Smith.
discussed it. She was an appraiser, and she seemed to imply that was kind of the number for that. So
Yeah.
There's a guideline that they have to use.
so it seems consistent that that's what that would be. But Ross, are you?
What?
there's not a guideline, they have to make adjustments, but there's not, like, nobody publishes a number. That's
No,
up to the
there's
individual
some
appraiser.
kind of a book that has suggested numbers, unless they don't have the book anymore, because I remember that.
This is Harold. There is a picture. I went to Caldwell Banker on this property. There is one photo that shows the property. It shows the house, shows the pool house, a gazebo, or a covered lounge area, a 4-car garage, and it also lists two, I think it said at least one or maybe 2 apartments that are rental apartments above.
Yeah, that orange building is really the garage, that big garage.
This is Ronique.
This is Kathleen,
One
right,
thing
and
that's
it's
like
got apartment above it.
one thing that
Yeah, the card's
I think
confusing.
I think either Kathleen or Catherine mentioned this earlier. Why was this appraisal done? And I was kind of looking at the refinanced it, and if the appraisal came in at that amount, would the bank have? I think a refinance is pretty substantial, and even on the home itself, I'm seeing on the appraisal pool 4 fireplaces, 2 patios. But I think this is the process. I go wrong. Like, why is it so weird on our end?
I'm sorry, Ronique, I can't hear you. You're a lot of.
He's going in and out a little bit.
A lot of breaking up.
Sorry, I had my phone far away. I was looking for appraisal done, and I think either Catherine or Kathleen was asking for it, and it's for a refinance.
Yeah.
And so if you're refinancing, would there be any kind of reason to make an amount lower? No, right?
No.
No, and no. The refinancing is almost like a new mortgage. It's with the same. They're going to pay off the old mortgage, or but it's just like a mortgage. Got to do all the same.
The bank is just looking to protect their own investment with the money that they lend. That's why they do the appraisal. That's why the buyer pays to make sure that the bank makes a good investment by lending. So.
This is Harold. Online, it does say that the assessed value last year was $1.5 million. And if you go to Redfin, there's some 29 photos showing the interior and other buildings, if you're interested. it's a pretty grand looking house.
This is Kathleen. It's a big piece of property and a really big house. So I'm struggling with a number of 1175. I know he has an appraisal, but I'm just really struggling with that big apartment, and the 6,000 square foot house and however many acres he has. What, 6 acres of property?
I would, the numbers looking, our town, as all towns, those accessory apartments are just not recognized as part of the value. They're pluses and minuses. They're just not. So I'm getting more comfortable with $1.2 million. I might suggest that Mr. Murray take a look at increasing the dwelling value and decreasing the land value. But that's just me trying to give feedback to Judy.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, just know where I'm going or.
Yeah, well, this is Kathleen. We need to fix that pool line too, because I think that the SPL 6, I don't know what that code means, but it's, that's 97,900. Is that just 1,250 units? Is that just the garage with the apartment above it? And where's the pool? Right, he's got a gunite pool too. I don't know. The card just seems.
This is Harold.
It's a lot to try to process.
The purchase price does not sound realistic to me, nor does the requested value.
Yeah, I'm just not comfortable. And it's a 2019 appraisal. We do know he bought it, at a distressed price at the $999. That's sort of what the listing was saying, right? That it was a distressed sale. They reduced it by $400 just to get rid of it. So is the sale price indicative, of the true market value of that 8-acre, that's a 6-acre parcel. It's a big estate.
Yeah, well, there not a lot of people actually want to purchase, and especially, I know the location. I know the location very well, but it's tough when you get a large home with a couple of buildings and all that, everything that needs to be maintained. It takes a very special person and actually wants to do that. So,
but for $1.1 million, that's where they want to go, right? They want to go to $1.17 million. We've just seen a lot of other houses around that price range that were nothing like that. This one. So that's, I don't know. I think, other comparable sales to this one. I don't know what he picked in that older appraisal, but I didn't go through his appraisal carefully.
This is Harold. I would like to call a vote unless anyone needs more time. I'll also announce that at 6:01, John Spolger has joined our quorum. We now have 6 members. John, you may have been a little late to hear our discussions on this, so you may wish to consider how you will vote. All right. Anyone need more time?
I have a question. So
Yes, Ronnie.
I'm struggling with this one a lot. It's just a big difference. We have an appraisal, but it's an unqualified in a sense where they bought it as is with a $400,000 difference. What are your thoughts, Catherine? What are you thinking?
What's your issue with the?
So when Harold brought up the fact that it was an unqualified sale because they had to make a whole bunch of changes, right? And it was going to be worth a $400,000 drop or something. Harold?
Well, more than that. Well, we saw some of the sales history that Judy alluded to, I believe. So,
but that wasn't that was the offering. It was those were the list prices. That's correct. What I thought.
Oh, just the offer. I thought it was they were.
That was after it was on the market for 4.5 years, And they
Yeah.
finally just said, okay, we're gonna drop it. We want to deal right away. But here's the interesting thing. You could say, okay, he got some kind of a great deal. He got a really good deal there. But when he went to go refinance it, the bank didn't say it was worth 1.5 back then. They didn't say it was worth 1.7. They said it was 1.175. That's the appraiser came out for him to get a loan. So that's the interesting thing here.
It's very confusing because we always say sales price, but that was the price offered for sale. When Judy went down all those all the listing
Oh, I
prices
see. Okay.
weren't actual transfers.
Okay,
Yeah, and this is Kelly, the appraisal's a year old, right? But he's asking for the price on the appraisal, am I right?
Right?
The appraisal doesn't have comps from this year, they're more than a year old. And some of the addresses, I don't see any others on Old Academy here. I just don't like his adjustments either. The pool, the outbuilding was only adjusted at 25. There's just some things in there that, I don't know if I consider Queens Grant Road, as nice a street as Old Academy. It's up much higher, I think, isn't it? I don't know. I'm not loving the appraisal either, and they didn't adjust that up. So I'm just not comfortable.
Hold on a second.
Is Midlock comparable to Old Academy?
No, he's got, well, what I see, Hillside, Old Hickory, and Queens Grant.
Just for the heck of it, I'm looking up properties that had over 5 acres that have sold. I see on Reading Road. Right, I don't know if you see, there's another one on Hoydens, there's one on Warner Hill Road, that's 131.
That house is a mess. That 375 Warner Hill, that's the old Spurs
No,
estate.
right.
Yeah, I had that appeal. I know that house is in terrible shape. No, big, beautiful estate, but it's in major disrepair.
Oh yeah, and that was an antique. That was in a 100.
Right. And that's all for $1.3 million, right? In December of 18. That's why I just can't see 1.175 now. I'm just not seeing that.
I think I have enough to.
this is Harold. Are there any properties on Old Academy of similar size that sold recently?
Similar square footage. Hold on one second. I just went off of acreage right now. Just let me look.
And I would do the field card main house square footage.
And he has this one adjusted less than the Warner Hill one. I mean, the Warner Hill is
33 Old Academy. That was December 2 of 19. Let me look. What do I got in 20? I've got, when we all know that the 770 Old Academy at 1386 Hillside, they came in front of us. That was too late. We had 99 Old Academy at 162. That closed in July 19. That was on 2 acres. Okay. Why don't we vote on it?
yeah, I'm just not seeing it.
Harold, do you want to call the vote?
I would like to call a vote, yes, if everyone has completed their analysis. All those in favor of granting this appeal, please raise your hand. I have 2 in favor. Opposed? Please raise your hand. I have 3 opposed. Abstentions?
Did you want to abstain?
I'm not going to vote on this.
You came in late. Okay.
Yep.
All right. The motion is not carried. The vote is 2 in favor, 3 opposed. The vote is 2-3-0. Prue, could you please call the vote?
Okay, appeal number 60 has been denied, with a vote of 2 in favor, 3 opposed, and 0 abstentions. And I have Kathleen, Ronique, and Harold as the opposing votes.
Thank you. And once again, I'll mention that our group has been joined by John Spolier. And John came on at about 6:01.
Alexis Harrison came in too at 6:04, 6:05.
That's fine, close enough.
I'm going to step out for just a little bit and I'll come back. I will be back. Okay?
All right.
All right.
Judy is leaving us at
Wait,
6:08.
right.
Kathleen?
And
I'll be back.
I think Ronique was going to leave too as soon as we had a quorum because he's on tomorrow night, unless he wants to stay, but he doesn't have to stay, right?
Sorry, guys. Love you, but.
Well, that's okay. I see that Alexis
He was
is
at
joining us.
Yeah, I came in at 6:04.
Oh, you're here. Okay.
Oh,
So
so
Alexis,
excited, Harold. I'm so excited.
well, I just saw your screen light up. I did notice it before. So Alexis has joined us, and there you are. And Ronique is leaving us, but we still have a quorum of 5 members.
Sounds good. Take care, guys. Good luck. Let me know if you need anything.
Bye.
Thank you, Ronique. Go get
Bye.
your cable.
Yes, I'm getting it right now.
All right. Be well.
All right, bye.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, Alexis. You have a few on our list here. I see that we are working off of the segmented lists for today. Did you get that?
I have the 3:31 deliberation list, Harold.
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
And I think you've got
No,
5
today's
right on the
3:30.
top of the list. If you're prepared to do those, we can move
Give me a
forward.
few minutes. Maybe someone else can go ahead of me and I can just get situated here if you don't mind.
All
Just
right.
coming off of work.
John has joined us, so we can ask him to do a few.
Hey, it's the new guy. Okay. Sure, I can do a few here. All right. Excuse me. All right, the first one I would like to discuss, let me just make sure it's on the approved list that we have here.
Whatever you got, John, we're good.
Whatever you got, you're good?
They all
Okay.
count.
They
I have a
do.
recommended list, yes.
All right. So appeal number 321 is what I'm looking to do next. The property address is 153 Brookside Drive. The owner and appellant is, or actually the owner is Jason and Lauren Castaneda.
Castaneda.
Castaneda. Hopefully that is, just if in case I butchered it. I'm sorry. Okay. And the town has a value of 1,204,100, and I would like to make a motion that we grant the appellant's requested value of $1,050,000.
I'll second it. This is
Thank
Harold.
you. Okay. So in January of 19, they purchased the house for $955,000, and it came out to be assessed at $960,000 at that point. Okay. And when you go through the material, you'll see that they do have some comps here. I'm just looking to see if they have anything at the end, but the Zillow now estimates the house to be 1.03 million. It was built in 2017, and Jason and Lauren are the first owners of the house. Comp number 2 that they're providing here is the same builder. And I'm just pulling up here I've got the file open, but going from page to page is a little bit But comp number 2 is the same builder. It's smaller, and I believe they're saying that it was 930,000 for that. They tried to use comps in the sale here that were in the 800 to 900,000 in sales between December of 2019 and 2020 with the same size, both the house size, square footage size, and lot size. No, excuse me, no new improvements since the house has been sold that they've done. And I believe at the end of the file, they did send in the 2019 assessment that they had done for their property. So again, you know, the Zillow estimate, I don't know if really we can do much with that, but the house next door that he said is the most comparable with the same builder, that sold in 2018 for 930,000. So let me just go to, so on page 9, 8 and 9, they have different ones here, but those also, you know, built and sold. Most of them are, no, I take that back. The first one was their house. The second one was sold in 2018. That's on page 8, bottom of page 8. Top of page 9 was sold in June for 860,000. That was on Guiden Lane. Then 21 Guiden Lane sold in September of 2020, again for around or for 890,000. If we take a look at the appellants, they have a 5-bedroom, 5-bath, 4,600 square feet, 0.81 acre. Guidance a bit smaller. Number 3 is a bit smaller. As it's only 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath on 0.22 acre. Same with number 4 that we have there, missing a bedroom and a half bath with the acreage of 0.22. However, the square footage is probably more in their range of 4,600 versus 4,400 here. The fifth one that they have, again on page 9, sold in August of 2020. It's a bigger house, less acreage, that sold for 1.125 million. But I believe that's further away from the appellants based on the map that you see on the top of page 8 of where the house is located. 5's like on the other side of the lake and further north. Any questions? Catherine? You're on mute, Catherine, spacebar.
Thank you. Sorry about that. I think they did a great job with the comps. You know, they're really on the Brookside. It's right behind Swanson's. Who's that in the mask? Who's down there? I don't get it. They're right behind Black Rock Turnpike. So they're right behind that commercial building. But they're still on a side street for sure. But Guiden Lane, that's a nice little cul-de-sac right across the street from them. And Stroll Rock Common is, well, a little further, is definitely very, it's got a nice neighborhood attached. There is no busy street near Stroll Rock Common. It's really tucked away. So I think they did a great job for not being professional. I don't think we have any realtors here to say that. So
This is Kathleen. They do have an appraisal too, right? But it's older. They have a finance.
So they gave themselves a 10% increase since they bought it, you know, a year ahead of time, and then they added 10% to their purchase price. And they should be higher than the 890 and the 860 on Guided. Those are older homes, not really old, but not new construction. And Stroll Rock Common is a also older home, but bigger and you know, really nice, quiet neighborhood. Not
Thanks,
That's the
Kathleen.
alarm.
Oh, Catherine, so what do you think of the Melody Lane? That's a 2020 build, because I like to see new construction in comp.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
that one's at 1,075, you know, which is pretty close. It's a little bit bigger. So as long as Melody Lane isn't a terrible street or,
I mean, there's this. Yeah, I'm not a realtor. I mean, I think they're a little better than Melody, but they're very close off Black Rock Turnpike for both of them. So, you know, the benefit they can walk this subject property can, they're probably walkers to Osborne Hill. Melody might be walkers too. So I think they're being pretty reasonable.
This is Harold. I think that given the fact that they've adjusted upwards from their purchase price and supporting a number that indicates an increase in the time frame to what could be considered to be a market value of October 1st, 2020, I don't think it's unreasonable what they're asking.
I'm ready to vote.
Okay, all those in favor of granting this appeal to the requested value, please raise your hand.
Aye.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in favor. Opposed? None opposed. The motion, abstentions?
Oh, Peter.
Peter has joined us and he is abstaining from this vote. The motion is carried with a vote of 5-0-1. And we now have 6 members on our panel.
And I
Thank you.
suggest a rotation for dinner. Does anybody want to their 15
Yes,
minutes?
as long as we have a quorum, that's fine.
good.
We can continue. So Catherine will be leaving us shortly.
Okay, no, and I'll be right back after. I'll grab some dinner with my husband, and I'll be right back. Thanks.
Let us know when you're coming back. And folks, I think we can continue to rotate as long as we have a quorum of 5 members. But thank you very much for your participation. Okay, John, you want to?
Sure, I'll go for another one here.
Yes.
The next one I'd like to do is 252. The property address is 12 Reynolds Drive. The owner and the appellant is William Ferguson. The town has a value of $577,500 on it, and the requested value is $530,000. And I'd like to make a motion that we grant the requested value of $530,000.
Is there a second? Kathleen seconds the motion.
Thank you. So this property was listed for $550 in September of 2019. I was told it didn't sell until May of 2020 at $530,000, which is what he is asking for the requested value. There were no other offers at that time. There is a vacant lot down the street that's larger and has been on the market for 2+ years for $250,000, which is at the end of a cul-de-sac. Was one of his points when we was talking about his land value and such with that. Excuse me. And then he's on the corner of High Street on a corner lot. He does have a sidewalk that reduces his usable land, is what I was told. High Street is a busy street. He's near the fire station, next to the I believe Latter-day Saints house. across from the Sunny Ridge complex, and a halfway house is nearby. In his file, he does have some comps with it, but he also has, you'll see starting on page 7, is his appraisal for when he bought the house, and of that being at 530. The thing that was interesting about this one is that, and let me just check at the bottom of the file. Ross, I believe I had put in a request about this. He had a draft field card actually from July of 2020 in the file, or that he submitted. And I believe Paula came and visited his place with that. And so between the draft and what was finalized, there was some changes made.
Yeah, this is Ross. The draft card would have been based on the prior reval database model. So we wouldn't have had the current model available to produce a value yet.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay. July 2nd would be before the final reval. That's what you said here. So hence, this is on page 23 is, Ross, is what you put back with that. So,
Right.
Okay. Any questions? And let me go back to WebEx. Anybody have their hands up?
Oh,
Go ahead, Harold.
I have some question. I see that after the purchase date, which I believe is May 18th of 2020, there were some permits pulled for a garage. Well, actually, those were before the purchase date. They were before the purchase date, and they were inspected and determined to be 100% complete, again, prior to the purchase date. So, okay. So those
Yeah,
are.
this is Ross. It would appear that he didn't pull the permits until right before the sale.
Well, some of those permits look like they're issued on 4/17/2020, 9/18/19, 1/3/19.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I read the wrong line.
Okay.
But they were all inspected prior to the sale at 100% complete.
That's the way I understand it, yes.
Okay.
Right. This is Kathleen. So the garage was finished. That's the one that's the closest. The others are pretty obvious. The finished basement, the second floor add. So the garage was on there, right? When they bought it, they bought a garage. So we didn't add a garage. I didn't look at the listing, but if the permit was pulled 4/17, that's after probably they already had a negotiated deal. So that's why I'm just trying to figure out what happened with the garage. And I guess looking at the listing, you can tell whether they say they have a garage, 2-car garage or not.
Well, this is Harold. In the preliminary field card, it does show the garage under construction. And the revised card shows it, I think, a little further along. So it does indicate on the card that as of 5/14/2020, it's 100% complete.
Right.
Now,
I'm just looking at the listing. I'm just seeing if they listed it with the garage. I'm not 4 bedrooms, 3 full bath, colonial, shaker cabinets, living room, 2 other bedrooms, full half bath, finished basement. It's just the date on that permit, and it's the picture. I don't know when that photograph was taken. So I just want to know, because that changes the value of the property, right? If they've added a garage after it was negotiated or the purchase price was decided. So that'd be the only thing. He has an appraisal or he doesn't? He doesn't?
No, he does.
Oh, so maybe it'll be on the appraisal then.
let me just see here. So the appraisal, just to let you know, starts on page 7.
Reading the wrong thing here.
Yeah, this is Ross. I looked at the permits. The garage was pulled in April 21st,
Right.
and it was CO'd May 14th.
The card on page 9, this is Harold speaking, does show a garage. Two-door.
Yeah, this is Kathleen. I'm just looking at the appraisal to see if the appraisal was done, you know, what the date of the appraisal was. In other words, did they negotiate a garage after they, you know, into the price, perhaps, or did they do the garage after the, you know? I know they hadn't closed. I'm just trying to figure out, 'cause that's, you know, decent, that's value on that property. So I just want to make sure we're looking to see where the garage is.
I'm looking on page
Yeah.
9 to see if there's something about a garage.
It does say garage on there, 2GD
No.
64 or something.
Yes, it does.
Oh, yes.
Right.
2GD 60W.
And what's the date on the appraisal? That's the only.
The date on the appraisal, let me get that for you.
Says this is under deposit.
April 8th.
Thank you. Yes, April 8th.
And the appraisal came in at 5:30? Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm good. Okay.
Okay. Are we ready to vote? Okay. All those in favor of granting this appeal to the requested amount, please raise your hand. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's unanimous. The appeal is granted. The vote is 5-0-0. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I'm happy to take an appeal if John wants to take a break.
Go for it, Alexis.
Okay, thank you, John. So my appeal is number 250. The address is 289 Knapp's Highway, and the owners are Noah Gordon and Dana Finkel. See my notes. So I would like to make a motion to bring down the appellant's fair market value to $360,000 from the town's value of $418,700,000.
This is John. I'll second.
Great, thank you, John. So this is a couple. They bought their home in September, obviously in the height of the so-called COVID market, and they purchased it for $450,000, which was way above, I think, asking price from what they told me. And they kind of had to fight it out to get the house, but they really loved Fairfield and wanted to be here and wanted the house. They were aware when they bought the house that the town would be doing the reval, but they just feel it's overassessed and overvalued. And they did bring in some supporting paperwork. So one comp, for example, was 132 Cardinal Street, and that house sold over a month after they bought their home, and it sold for a similar price at $440,000. Has a similar square footage and lot size, but it does have a garage, which the subject matter does not. Has a fireplace, which they do not. So they just don't understand, you know, why their house is just over assessed, and they would really hope for us to bring it down. And they also have a chart. I don't know if you guys have it up, just some comparables in the area.
I believe it's on page 6. But they have a chart of sales. They have 2 pending. Actually, I take that back. 3 pending sales on there, but then they have other ones.
So they did a pretty, you know, fairly good analysis of the area. I think some of the houses here are a little further away than probably a mile, but nonetheless, you can see that their house is just a lot more than some of these comparables. In most instances,
Cardinal Street, they said sold for, or they're showing on here, sold the month after they did, but for $440,000.
Mhm.
And they want to go down to 360,000.
316, yeah, that's what they're asking.
Is that, and that's the appraised value, not the assessed value, correct?
So you can see in their paperwork, I think excuse me, they said 360, not 316. Did I say 360? If I did, I'm sorry.
Nope, 360. They want to go down to 360. The town has it valued at
418.
418.
And again, they purchased it for, quite a bit over, what it would normally probably sell for under regular market circumstances, but they really love Fairfield. So I think they're being fairly reasonable here. I have no issues with this.
Kathleen, is it 2,500 square feet? A big house,
Yeah.
right? 3 bedrooms, 2 baths.
It's a good size. It's a good size house. I
Yeah,
haven't been in it. I don't think the person who did the appraisal did either. So it looks pretty
So
big.
the
It looks
280,
redone.
I was going to say, I'm
Well,
showing.
it's not, I don't think it's. They didn't have that in their notes, Kathleen. So I don't know. I can't. We haven't been in the house. So I can't say if it's been redone.
Well, I'm looking at the pictures on Realtor.com. That's all. You can see the exterior anyway. Exterior.
Well, pictures. We can all hire good photographers.
Well,
Yeah.
let's see. There's bathrooms in here. The other bathrooms are redone. The kitchen, it looks good from the inside anyway.
But
For
again, you have
20%.
to remember the neighborhood code. I mean, this is a fairly
Yeah.
modest neighborhood. Okay.
But they
And
have
the comp was 132 Cardinal. That's the other one they think is closer to what they were.
That was one of them. Yep.
Yeah.
and it's about the same size living area, about 3 feet difference in that.
Yeah, but the Cardinal Street also had more amenities than they have. They don't have a fireplace, first of all. They don't have a garage. That is, that
Right.
certainly doesn't help their value.
I see Cardinal is 1,400 square feet. That
1437 and
Right.
the Naps Highway has 1440.
So it means a shade
Well,
smaller.
I thought the Naps Highway had 2,400. The online says 2,400. There must be some finish in the basement.
This is Harold.
I don't want to assume anything. I don't know that for a fact. I haven't
You
been in
look
the
on the
house.
card.
Yeah. Yes, Harold?
This is Harold, yes. The house was built in 1951, but within the last, more recently, dormers were put on the front and the back, adding substantially a second floor level, which gave them an additional bedroom and bathroom. And with the addition of those dormers, you can expect that there were some renovations done throughout, and some of those building permits are listed,
Yep.
including a finished enclosed porch. I mean, this is all quality, I would term it quality living area that's usable by a family. I think that the purchase price indicates what they felt was a fair market value of the home.
Oh, Harold, this was in the middle of COVID craziness. I mean,
Yes,
a lot
and
of houses were sold for a lot more. I mean, I'm sure Judy, if she's on, can attest to that.
sure, and the town has it assessed at set sales price.
418. Do you want to make a motion then to consider a different amount then to lower their assessment?
No, I think the town has it quite right. I'm looking
Why do you
at,
think that?
So I'm having a hard time supporting that supporting this because, as Harold said, they sold it for 415, and if we did, technically they bought it during the revaluation period, which they knew,
Yes.
right? So not that we would, but we would have substantial reason potentially to even bring the appraised value up to 450 because that's what they bought it at. And I think that at 418 right now, and for the next 5 years, they're getting a bargain at that.
I don't think it's a bargain, John. I think that's a fairly subjective comment to make.
Okay.
Any further comments, discussion? I'll call it a vote.
And I'd like, if this, I mean, it sounds like to me the majority of this board is not going to support this motion, so I'd like to withdraw it and maybe we can come up with a different number.
If you wish to amend the requested amount, we can vote on that. And then if it's approved, we can then go to vote on the original motion using the amended number as the requested value.
Then I'd like to make a motion to lower their fair market value. They've asked for 360. I would like to make it 400,000.
And that's 400,000 versus the 418,700. Is that correct?
Mhm.
Okay. All those in favor of
Can I
granting?
have a second? I need a second
Oh.
on that one. Though.
Yes, I'm sorry. Anyone wish to second?
I'll second it for discussion.
Okay, Kathleen seconds it. So any further discussion on the amended amount of $400,000? All right, then we'll vote on the amended motion to the new amended figure of $400,000. All those in favor of the amended amount, please raise your hand. I have one in favor, opposed. I have 4 opposed. Abstentions? No abstentions. The motion is not granted. The adjusted, amended motion is not granted. It fails. The vote is 1-4-0. 1-4-0. And now we will vote on the original motion to grant the requested amount of $360,000. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed, please raise
Wait,
your
can you say
hand.
that? Can you repeat that motion again?
I'm sorry,
I'm not quite following. Can you just repeat the motion that you just put on?
yes, the last motion was to amend the requested amount to $400,000. And that did not pass. The vote was 1-4-0.
Right, so now the original motion's back on the table, right?
Yes, the original motion is back on the table, and that was for a requested amount of $360,000. All those in favor of granting the requested amount of $360,000, please raise your hand. I have 1 vote in favor. All those opposed, please raise your hand. There are 4 opposed. The motion is not carried. The appeal is not granted. The vote is 1-4-0. Thank you, Alexis. Would you care to do another?
No, not right now. Thank you.
Okay. John, you want to carry on, or let's see, who else do we have? Oh, myself, Kathleen. Peter, you want to wrap up those 3 that are on the bottom? How's that?
And I'm back if anybody
Yes.
else wants to take a break.
Okay.
Catherine's back for quorum.
Kathleen has returned at 6:41. Peter, we'll hear some of your appeals, please.
Okay, just give me 1 second and get situated.
If you want, Peter, I can do another one.
No, I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Sorry, thanks.
Yep.
All right, this is appeal number 479 for 525 Wormwood Road. Megan and Joseph Sargent are the owners of this, and Joseph Sargent was the appellant. The town has valued this property at $845,600, and they're requesting a reduction to $690,000. I make a motion to grant the requested value to $690,000. Anybody have a second, or is there a second?
This is Harold. I'll second.
Thank you. So, pardon me. This did go before for an informal, and there was no change. This was a property that was purchased in 2011 for $390,000. It appears it was an unqualified sale at that time for whatever reason, I don't know. The homeowner has said that, they've done some things, but, no new updates, no additional square footage, no professional design. They claim that many homes have been torn down and, all are, rebuilt, obviously new construction. This is a barn that's been renovated into a two-story home, no basement, no attic. There is a lower level that they said is garage storage. And they provided, they just don't think that the market will bear the town's value. They did say that about 5 years ago, they replaced the roof, the siding, kitchen and bath. They say that was less than $80,000. In the field card, there were about $90,000 in updates since 2015. This is eight rooms, 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, 0.716 acres, and a little over 3,000 square feet. The appellant provided, they provided a narrative about, their purchase and, their thoughts on this. And then also some comps with that. So I just want to go through the comps that, were provided. I'll try to do this. There's you can see the picture of the house on the field card. All right, which is on page 5. All right. So just looking at the comps that were provided, I mean, part of it was they wanted to talk about the age of the home, right? The fact that this was an 82-year-old home. But, that being said, the bones might be 82 years old, but the town has the depreciation here at 11% on this property. All the other, or at least most of the others, are pretty significantly, the depreciation value is more on there, right? So anyway, the first one was 185 Lovers Lane. The subject has more land and more square feet, and there was about 36% depreciation on that colonial. That was a colonial, and that was sold. These were all actually no, some of them were not sold during the. This was sold on 6/26/20 for $640,000. All right, 20 Glenarden Drive, which is a split level. Okay, that was sold on 8/21/20. Again, that was sold for $499. This was a home that was built in 1941. Again, the land, is that's less than a half acre opposed to the subject, and about 1,000 square feet less than the subject. And that one also has about 36% depreciation on it. 239 Wormwood is a colonial. It's outside of the base period. It was sold in I think my notes say March of 19 for $669. All right, again, smaller acreage, smaller square footage, about 30% on the depreciation. 476 Wormwood is a cape that was sold again outside of the period. This was actually a a 2018 sale for 615. Again, smaller lot, smaller square footage. You know, 80 about 15%. You know, newer kind of construction on that home, so 15% appreciation. Another one outside of the sale period or the base period. This was 519. Sold in 519 and for 680,000. And this was, again, it's a smaller, you know, lot, smaller square footage, and about 36% appreciation. There's a, let me see here, 1014 North Benson. That was sold 130 2019. This does have a for 685,000. It does have about half an acre and smaller square footage, and it's in different neighborhood. This is neighborhood 73. Also has a 0.8 condition on it for location and 36% appreciation. 15 Dill Road, similar 36% appreciation. That this was a 9820 sale though for 550,000. But again, you know, a much smaller lot and square footage.
Yeah, this is
So
Kathleen.
you know, basically that's the pattern.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead,
I
Kathleen.
have a couple questions. Well, first of all, this is around the corner from me, so I am familiar with the property. It is a pretty awkward home. It may used to have been a barn associated with the university property, and it was converted over. Without any pictures of the inside, I can't speak to the functional obsolescence of the inside. But looking at the card, I do see a depreciation code of 6, which I think is very high with a year remodeled of 2018 if he said he just redid his kitchen. So that is, I don't know what that remodeling rating means and all of that, but you know, 3,000 square feet, he said most of it is storage and garage because there's no basement. So it is a very awkward home, and I believe the land slopes up pretty steeply behind it up towards North Benson because Wormwood, right, it slopes or whatever. I think it's North Benson behind it. So if Ross pulled it up on the GIS or whatever, you would see that even though it is a large parcel of land, the backyard is, you know, it says he has a pool. And I don't know where the apartment is, you know, whether they have a renter apartment in there, accessory apartment maybe.
It says
Yeah.
in-law apartment, one
Yeah, I
bedroom,
was trying to
one
figure
bath.
that out. It looks like, you know, we tried to get in there. PJ keeps putting the tags in every year. We tried to do an interior inspection and left the tag. So maybe they didn't let people. Oh no, Ken went, no change re-inspection, 3/16/2020.
Read the building notes.
Yep.
No, so yeah, just like a little bit of background on that. That's all, because it's a little confusing.
Well, I pulled up the permits. This is Russ. I pulled up the permits, and they, you know, looking at these, they did first floor remodel to create the accessory apartment. They did a strip and re-roof. Those were in 19 and 20. They put a new service in 2017. They did a second floor remodel in 2017, and they also did a first floor remodel to create the accessory apartment in 2017. In 2016, there was another permit for a second floor remodel. I'll bring this up so you can see what I'm looking at here. Hold on.
So he said he spent, this is Kathleen, so he said he spent maybe 80,000 into it.
Right.
Yeah, we bought at 390 and put in 80. We have sunk 470.
But was that the 80,000 on the, I guess that wasn't just
I'm
the
trying to
siding.
figure out.
So hopefully you can read this. This is the, you know, the building permit screen, and you can see a list of all the permits. Some will be listed twice because they're there for, you know, they show up as each inspection.
Mm-hmm.
So that, I'm sorry, that second floor remodel was ongoing for quite some time. And it looks like from our notes that we didn't finish picking that up until 20.
This is Harold. Looking at some of the houses on the street, it looks like a very much a mixed bag of styles and prices from new houses that are from the mid-20s, 2000s, I should say, like 2003 and so on. The subject house has somewhat more acreage of 0.7 acres. Some of the houses, like the neighbor house right next door, I believe is newer. And then there's older homes on both sides of the street as well. So they range anywhere from in the 4s up to the 7s.
Yeah, this is Kathleen. Yeah, a lot of them have been, knocked down and new construction put up
Right.
on that street. So that's why you've got some older capes, and then you've got some, you can see on the side there, you've got a lot of big newer homes next to the small capes. So he's kind of there in the middle.
However, he does have a very large lot.
He does. I think it slopes up to North Benton. I think it goes up to North Benton on the back. So there is some incline there. That's not, yeah, he's to the west of that.
Sorry about that.
Or south.
Yeah, he's right here. This is
Right.
our subject right here.
It's just an awkward home because it's a converted barn, and and it could be the way that he's got it finished that, when you walk by it, you're like, this doesn't look like the rest of the houses on the street. So, but without pictures of the interior, all those permits pulled, it's tough to say. But it's definitely not like the new constructions next to it. It's got the turret on it and a few other things. It's an awkward property.
This is how, well, I think that house next to it is in the 7s, and I believe that's the one I noticed. It's built in 2003.
And it looks like this is Kathleen, did Ken go inside? Is that the KC no change reinspection? Or is that not Ken? The KBC on 3/16/2020.
That's Karen.
Karen, okay.
Yep, Karen, we switched some properties around who handles them, so it was Paula's, and then it got switched over to Karen.
So she went inside, you think? Okay.
And Ross,
Who went inside?
is it okay to ask?
I'm
Ross?
sorry, could you?
This
Someone
is
said
Kath-
someone went inside the house. I didn't quite get all that. I didn't understand it.
I don't understand. What was the question?
I thought someone said Karen went inside. Is that what I heard from Kathleen?
Yeah, she works for. Dude.
Oh, things I'm not privy to. I'm sorry. I don't have inside information.
No, this is Kathleen. When you read on the card, it says reinspection. Sometimes when they inspect, they drive by. Sometimes when they inspect, they go inside. So I just was wondering, because all those other times we tried to get in,
Oh,
looks
I see
like
what you're saying. I see
PJ
it.
Paula tried to get in, but she left the tag at the door. It looks like Karen, KBC, went on 3/16/2020, said no change with the reinspection. So I just was wondering what the purpose of that visit was, that's all. And did she finally
would
go
be to
inside, because all the other times?
This is Ross. The reason for the inspection would be to complete the permits because they were open.
Which means she would go inside then. Okay.
She would attempt to. I believe she did, but I don't know for 100% sure.
Okay. It's okay. I don't know what to do with this one.
Ross, when the
Yeah.
field card says that it's 3 bedrooms, would that include the bedroom in the accessory apartment?
It should.
Okay, so he probably has 2 bedrooms in the main home, and then the accessory apartment has the 1 bedroom or a studio or whatever, a kitchen. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I'd like to point out he's put in 690 for his request, which is the highest of all these that have sold that he has presented.
His property is twice the size of most of those, and the square footage is at least 1,000 square foot more than most of those. So, you know,
House or land?
This house looks sloped.
Yeah, the land is bigger. So the house too. Is that your point, Peter? I was just trying
yeah,
to.
I mean, you know, the square
Yeah.
footage is, you know, about 1,000 square feet more for most of these. And, you know, and yes, the land, you know, obviously then I guess we should take into consideration. I mean, there doesn't seem to be any adjustment for that, you know, that land if that's, you know, so sloped, if that's what that's what you're saying.
No, I was just.
I was looking at the other ones next door to see if they have any adjustment for the slope in the back, but I'm not. I've clicked on a couple. I haven't seen that yet.
The subject house, this is Hal speaking, is appraised at 845.6. The house next door, which I just had a moment ago, at 503, I think it was, is appraised at 853.8, and that's a newer home. And the field card does not show any condition factor on the land. And this is less than half an acre, whereas the subject property has 0.7 and a bit.
It's a big lot.
It's a bigger lot, and from what we saw in the visual, it's one of the bigger lots in the neighboring area on that street. And the subject, this house at right next door at 503 Wormwood, if it is the house next door, has gross living area of 3,055 square feet.
What was the number of that house, Harold, next door?
503.
And this is Kathleen. That one sold in 2017 for 869. That's a new construction. That's a 2003 home. It's one of the, you know, knockdown redos in there. Even though it's from 17.
And if I look at the other side of the subject's house at 543, there's a house that's appraised at 934,400. It sold almost 20 years ago. But again, it's less than half an acre. And it's got 3440 living space, but it was built in 2007.
Okay, so I don't know. I think we need to decide what we're going to do.
Yes. Okay. This is appeal number 479. I would say that I don't think that he provided very good comps to support his case, since he was the highest of the ones that he selected. And he is surrounded by homes on smaller lots of greater value. And there were a number of improvements to his home in recent years. So I think that perhaps going down to that number is a little steep, but I'll call a vote unless there's further discussion. All those in favor of granting this appeal to the requested amount of $690,000, please raise your hand. I have 3 in favor. Opposed? I have 3 opposed. The motion is not carried. It fails. Vote.
Fails, yep.
It fails. 3-0. John, you have a couple more on that list to finish off east of North Benson?
That was
Um,
Peter actually, but
I can do one too, if that's helpful.
Okay, Alexis, since we're enjoying your company today, so please go ahead.
Not so sure about that. Thank you. This is appeal number 454. The address is 498 Naps Highway. And I'd like to make a motion to decrease the fair market value from the towns, which is 781,300 to down to 675,000. This is a multi-family home.
wait, do
It's
we
kind
need
of
a
very
second?
unusual.
I'll
Oh,
second.
yes, I do. Thank you. John, did I hear
Okay.
you second? I'm sorry.
Yep, I'll second. So
Okay.
Yep.
go ahead.
Thank you. Sorry. And this is, as you can see, it's a pretty unusual house on Naps Highway. It's a multi-family home with 3 apartments. And really the third, it sounds like based on what Greg Lane told me, the appraiser, that the 3rd floor is kind of small and not as equal in size as the other 2. And he presented, I believe, 4 comparables of multifamily homes in the area. And just looking at the line note here, sorry, bear with me. One that was Ardmore Street, and it was similar square footage, and that's appraised at $700,000. Another one was Grandview Avenue, a little smaller, but that was appraised at $639,000. So he just feels the appraisal was just overvalued, and it's a fairly modest. It's a nice home, but it's not crazy. It's not super modern. So he's hoping we can come down a little bit.
So the appraisal at this, it looks like came in, the opinion value was 625 and they're asking for 675.
I thought the
correct?
town's value was 781,300. That's what it says.
No,
in the,
yeah. But the appraisal that Greg Lane did,
yeah, that was
here-
600. Yeah, that was much lower than what he's asking for, though.
okay, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah,
Thank you.
for bringing that up. Yep.
this is Kathleen. I'm sorry. What did you say, John? Greg Lane came in with a lower number?
Yeah, Greg
Yeah,
Lane came in at
625.
625 and they're asking for 675.
I mean, he recognized, that how the market has changed, and they're willing to go down, quite a bit. They want to go down more, but they're, happy to what they call a compromise at 675.
Now, I believe that this house is next to the field at McKinley.
Right.
that-
It's in a really busy neighborhood. Exactly.
Yeah.
This is Harold. I believe that we did see some of these multifamily homes in the past, the 7 Grandview. I think the 80 Ardmore was used as a comp previously.
I mean, he had Riverside Drive, but that's, much further away from that location.
I want to take a look at the pictures on the inside because it looks like that I remember looking at this house to rent a room when we first were going to move out here back in 2002. And I think the previous owner was looking at or was going to, renovate it or was in the process of renovating it. And my concern, or I guess, one of the things is I want to see the inside to see if it's been upgraded on the inside, I guess.
I mean, some of the pictures, I mean, they're fine. I mean, it doesn't look super modern. It looks, looks fine, but not what I would call state of the art, appliances or counters
Okay.
or.
Oh, there
things
we
like
go.
that.
Yeah, because I mean, it just is that Greg
old
Lane
house.
listed it as average, whereas I think the other ones he has as above average.
I mean, the bathroom, I mean, it's fine. It's small. I mean, there's some nice countertops here for sure.
Alexis,
Very old.
there's 3, a 3-family, 2 or 2 bedrooms. They're, 2 and 1, and a single bedroom. and his rents are reported as only $25.75. Is he not renting the units?
From what he said, the owner, I believe, lives in one of them. So he must not collect rent on all three.
So this is Harold. So the 2575 in rental is for 2 apartments because the owner lives in one? Is that your understanding?
Is that relevant to bringing it down, or?
Well, it depends whether he's comparing the others, and multifamilies often do have a rental factor, and if they're not renting and they're looking for a tax deduction, it's like, well, maybe you have to rent. It is for me.
Okay.
It is for me.
Okay.
And I can't say that with with definitiveness. So I would be happy to go back to him and ask.
It kind of looks
If
that
that's
would be in
important
jive.
point for you.
A 2-bedroom generally goes for around 1,600, and a 1-bedroom, should be able to get about 800. So he's 2575. He probably lives in the 2-bedroom and rents the other 2-bedroom and 1-bedroom.
Any further comment?
Yeah,
Discussion?
I have a question for the assessor. When you make your appraised value, do you include rental fees or things like that? Like, is that part of the equation?
No, we don't use an income approach on a 3-family, only when it gets to be 6 and up.
Thank you.
So these we try to comp out, or based on sales.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is Kathleen. Is there a 4-car detached garage? As I see under parking on off, I see 4 DET.
Yep, there's a picture of it.
There is. Okay.
There's
Yep.
a picture in the appraisal. At the end of the picture, probably the last picture.
And again, the ones that we had, the comparables that he had, they're on much quieter streets. This is a pretty congested area near the school on Naps Highway.
And the land size is similar. I didn't look at the land on those guys. I don't know what his
So
lot
what
size.
he had, I think, was he had GBA listed. I don't think he had the land size in the comparables. Was that gross building? I don't know.
Yeah, I'll look at the field card. It should be on there.
Yeah, this is Ross. I have the aerial up, and you can see the garage in the property.
It's by the school.
Next door.
So he's got a land adjustment for the school, right? It's a half-acre property.
The appraisal, this is Harold. The appraisal does indicate 4 detached garages as well.
Right.
Okay. Shall we call a vote? Are we ready?
A beautiful house.
All right. All those in favor of granting this appeal, please raise your hand. I have 3 in favor, opposed. I have 2 opposed. We have,
I'm sorry. I'll be.
uh,
It's 3-2 now. I'll vote in favor. I'd like to vote in favor. It took me a little longer. I'm sorry.
that's okay. As long as you get it in the mailbox in time, it's fine. So,
Sorry.
it's the vote.
Uh,
The appeal is granted. The vote is 4-0. The appeal is granted in the amount of $690,000, was it?
675.
I thought it was 675.
75.
I'm sorry, $675,000. Thank you for correcting me.
Hi, this is Prue. I'm sorry to interrupt again, but can I have the opposing, was it Peter? And who else? I'm sorry.
Yes, Peter opposed.
Who opposed?
I did. This is Kathleen. I opposed.
Okay,
I don't know
so
who the other one.
Kathleen and Peter. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, I couldn't get to the screen fast enough.
That's okay.
Okay. Who's got another? Alexis?
Yeah, I'm just going through my notes here. I will pass it over to
Her
somebody.
logo.
Oh, that's Peter, I think.
All right, so this is appeal 588, and this is 85 Nutmeg Lane. Douglas and Shelley Hall are the owners. The appellant was attorney Chris Russo, and the town has valued this property at $874,000, and they're requesting a reduction to $700,000. I'd like to make a motion to grant the requested value of $700,000. Do I have a second?
I'll
I'll
second.
second.
I think John raised his hand first.
That's fine. I'll defer to Alexis if, you know.
Alexis is seconding
Oh,
this
thank you.
motion.
All right, so
Okay.
the appellant did provide a handy chart with some calculations on page 5. All right, and the field cards. So just to go through quickly, he did stress this: the older, the age of this. It's a 1955 house. It's got 8 bedrooms. Or I'm sorry, not 8 bedrooms, 8 rooms, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, on 0.275 acres and 2,800 plus square feet. It's a colonial. It did have some major. It had about $200,000 in renovation, and it looked like 7/15/19 was the CO date on that. Just the clients were surprised at how high the appraisal came back. Work has been done, the second floor addition. So he gave some comps to look at. One of those was 10 Sleepy Hollow. Sleepy Hollow is a cape. This is actually, the subject is a colonial. It's a cape. It's, roughly all of the comps were roughly in the same size in terms of land and square footage. But the Sleepy Hollow Cape was 11/6/20 was the sale. So just slightly outside of the base period, also unqualified though. So I'm not sure why it was unqualified. But that went for $615,000 in 11/6/20 on 11/6/20. There was also 50 University Drive. That's also a Cape, 1954 Cape. That was also slightly outside of the base period. 11/4/20 was the sale, and that was for $549,000. Both of those properties have about 38% depreciation and 35% depreciation on them. The 502 Pemberton. Well, and just to go back, the subject actually has about a 4% depreciation, listed on the field chart. So 502 Pemberton. This was a new construction in 2003. It's got about 18% depreciation, and that sold 8/24/20 for $760,000. Then the last two were capes. Actually, no, I'm sorry. One was a cape. That was a 2008 sale. So had updated bath and kitchen. 2008 sale for $609,000, and the next one was the 53 Nutmeg Lane. Both of those are Nutmeg Lane. Sorry, I didn't say that. They both have about 30% depreciation on them, and this was an 08 sale for $725,000, and had about $85,000 worth of remodeling in 2017. So, that's, anyone have any questions?
Oh, this is Kathleen. So I actually was looking at it on the GIS. It's around the corner from me. So if you look at it in the GIS, it actually shows what it looked like before the remodel.
Your input is invalid.
Which is a cape, with a 2-car garage underneath. And if you look at the field card online now, you can see what the $200,000 remodel did. They basically took the cape and took it up to a colonial. So that's what it looks like now. Ross can show you what it used to look
And
like.
did they add on to the side too or not? Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about. Yeah, they took everything up.
Yeah, they took everything up and completely redid it. So it's a really nice house, sits nicely on the street. There's a lot of similar remodels going on that street right now, right in about that price range. So I have a hard time comping that to a cape on the same street, that maybe hasn't been redone when this one's been all redone. That's not a comp to me.
Is 10
This is
Sleepy
10
Hollow
Sleepy Hollow.
gonna be,
Right.
is that gonna be a knockdown? Do we know? Kathleen, since it's in your neighborhood, because I thought I saw somewhere on that it was, because it's right across the street from the appellant's house.
Yeah.
And as you see that
Yeah,
Ross is
so it's
pulled
sold?
up, it's to looks like an LLC. So
That one may be, there is one over there that's getting all redone right now. It's all up to a 2nd story, gorgeous, all brand new windows. So there's definitely, it's a very kid-friendly, nice street, nice neighborhood. I mean, I know I live here, but no, I'm just saying if he's comping them if those are his comps, and it's not, it hasn't been torn down and redone for that price, I just don't see that as that 10 Sleepy Hollow in that state as a comp at all. And I don't, we should have picked some of the other ones on the street that are all remodeled and redone. And they're a lot of the new construction ones are in the 9s. They're selling for, and one around the corner just $1.1 million. So.
and
This is Harold. This is Harold. Looking at the field card for this property at 85 Nutmeg Lane, I see that from the previous assessment to the current assessment, there wasn't much of an increase on the dwellings portion. The major increase, I think, was due to the land, the first item. And I'm wondering if in this neighborhood in general, there was an increase in properties that would relate more to the land value than the home itself. Was this a neighborhood that increased in value in general? Ross?
I believe so, right? University, or no, East and North Benson.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I just don't, this is Kathleen, I just don't like those. Those are not good comps for this house. They're just not.
And this is John. I do notice that in how they got to the price, they did the square footage on there as well.
And he's
Average square
comparing the
footage and-
assessments again. I mean, his land appraisal is actually spot on for the neighborhood. Well, everything he listed there's 6 comps land-wise are very comparable. Comes out in the square footage.
All the comps, the land has been appraised roughly, the same. I mean, it is, they are all lots about the same size. So it looks like it's pretty much,
This is Harold. So the values are less than the subject house because they're smaller homes.
Well, and this is Kathleen, it's brand new. It's all been redone. Did the huge remodel and put this upstairs on. It's all, it's like new.
This is Harold. That's true.
Yeah.
I don't know if all of the permits would indicate the extent of the work that was done. Okay, I I'm ready to call a vote, unless there's further discussion. We have, I see 5 members present. Alexis, are you still with us, or Judy?
I am still here.
All right, thank you, Alexis. Just checking. I see you. I see you framed in bright blue now. Okay. All those in favor of granting this appeal to the requested amount, please raise your hand. All those opposed, please raise your hand. Alexis, how do you vote?
I voted in favor.
Oh, thank you. So I have 1 to grant the appeal, 1 vote to grant, and I have 5 opposed. The vote is 1-5-0. The motion is not carried. The appeal is not granted.
Okay.
And that was appeal 588. Prue, could you read the vote, please?
Sure. Appeal number 588 was denied with a vote of 1 in favor, 5 opposed, and 0 abstentions. And the 1 in favor was Alexis.
Thank you very much. Peter, you want to finish up your short list there?
Yeah, let me do that.
I see it as appeal number 261, Peter, 1320 Jennings Road.
This is appeal 261, 1320 Jennings Road. The owner is Zhang Li and Xylon Wang. Those were also the appellants. The town has valued this piece of property at $1,098,700, and they've requested a value. Actually, you know what? The value that's on the card or on the form was wrong. They actually were looking at appraised value, and then they came back in. They modified their card to read. Let me get to that here. That they wanted to. They actually gave a range from 887,918 to 1,022,822. I guess I would need some counsel to understand where I should make my motion.
I'm sorry, what was the range they gave, Peter? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, the range was 887,918 up to 1,022,822.
This is Harold. Before you make the motion, so is it your opinion that what the numbers are that I'm looking at on their petition were the assessed values that they?
Right. So on the original, they were looking at the assessed value. So if you go to page 7, they amended their petition.
Thank you.
Okay. They did go to an informal and did not receive a change. They're saying that they've seen 11.1 increase, but some neighbors only have 2% increase. The neighborhoods, let's see. They said it had been on the market for 3 years before they bought it. They have a front yard, but very small patio in back. They do have. So here are a couple things that they said that.
I'm sorry, Peter. I might have messed you up there.
Okay.
I think we need to have a motion
Right,
and then a second.
Right. So I'm just going to make the motion to the highest highest, or the lowest number. I'm gonna make it to the lowest number, right? So the 887,000. That's what I'm gonna make the motion to. If someone wants to adjust it, or if we make a motion to adjust it. So I'm going to make a motion that we approve the requested value of 887,918. Do I have a second for this motion?
This is Harold. I'll second it, and I suggest that we round it to 887,900.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, they said that they have not modified anything. That Jennings Road is a very busy road. They say that they have a very steep driveway. I don't know if that's something we could pull up right now to take a look at. Their driveway, they said it's very steep. Also, they did provide on page 8, a map, property map, and that they have a good portion of their property. The back corner there is wetland. They do have a conservation easement, but I don't see any condition adjustment on their card for that.
And the map that they provided with the wetlands marked off, it is pretty significant.
This is Harold. Ross, do you have a better map that we could view?
Yeah, this is Ross. You can see the contour lines on this one. Whoops. But I'm not sure. I think actually, let me switch to this one. This gives a better contour.
And this is Kathleen. That's 2 doors down from me, and it is a very sloping lot. I don't even know if they have any grass in the back. They've got like a fence. They're in the V. If you ever do the dog leg on Jennings, if you're coming from town, you take when Jennings has a stop sign, you take a right. And then there's an older greenhouse on the left that appealed the other night. I saw that one on Glenarden South. Then it's the next one. It's a new construction. It's built kind of on top of that greenhouse that was on the market for a really long time on the left there. So it is an awkward shaped lot, and it is, it does go way down on the sides and in the back, and their driveway does go below grade. The garage, I think, is under. It definitely slopes down. So it's not a nice flat lot, and they are in that triangle between Bennington, Osborne Hill, and Glenarden South.
And Ross, you just put on the wetlands, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, this is one of those.
This is Ross. The brown is the wetland, and the pinkish here is the conservation easement.
Yeah.
So that comes right up to their house. And this is another property that, has a lot of extra acreage for the zone that it's in, and yet it's all valued. I mean, the land is valued at $530,000 for this assessment. Mm-hmm. So, Peter, the way I'm leaning, I'd let you know I'd love to put a condition on that property, and for every point, for every 10 basis points it comes down, I think we'd be looking at a reduction of close to $53,000.
This is Harold. Can we look at the house, the land condition of the house just directly to the left?
This is Kathleen. You did that one the other night. I wasn't here, but it was Glenarden South. It's that green, best way I can describe it. It's built into the hill. So the driveway is actually on the other side, slopes way down to the river there. And those 2 houses are in the triangle. I think they sold that house on the bottom there, sold off the other lot, that new construction home. So green was on the market for a long time, as was the new construction, because it towers over. They're right next to each other. So it's awkward.
But to have a question, does either one of those other lots, what about that one with that big brown. Does that have any condition?
Those guys are up the hill, those brown ones over there, so that doesn't really affect them. It would be the one that Ross has his, the Glen Arden South. There's only one property with a street address of
Yep.
Glen Arden South, that one right there.
This is Ross. This house, it sold for $499 in August of 20, and on the land, there is no adjustment on this parcel.
Did you do an override? Because I think, this is Kathleen, I think it got approved, right? Did the appeal get approved?
I'll have to look. I don't
I
have
didn't know
anything entered yet. in addition.
Yeah, it was when I wasn't here, I remember.
I'm more looking at that other big brown splotch,
Across the
that
street.
parcel.
This is Kathleen, those are big, long lots that go up the hill.
But look at the area of the wetlands.
Right, Devonzo, yeah, because the brook goes right around there. Brook
Right,
goes,
but I'm more interested in the condition factors given to those that have that conservation wetland, that wetlands with no conservation easement. I mean, they're on the other side of,
mhm. Yeah, the one on the corner of Osborne Hill probably has one. That's a lower one, but
well, I mean, Peter,
This
it's
is
your,
Ross.
that's just the way,
The parcel I have selected, I think it's this one right here, it's got 10% off the land.
all right, well, Peter, I'd be looking at 10 to
Like-
15% off.
I'm
but
thinking 20,
Yeah.
this is Kathleen, I'm thinking 20. Yeah,
I
it's
hear
a 25.
25.
Plus they're in the middle of that triangle of traffic, so they have cars on all sides. It's not like they, their backyard and their front yard has, and they're right on the road. They're, 10 feet from Jennings. They're, yeah. I'm
Well,
not
I
even
wouldn't-
sure why. It's
I
difficult.
wouldn't- Yeah, well, I wouldn't quibble. I think every 10 basis points that we take off is about 53,000. If we just want it. So, I'd be thinking 75,000 and you're thinking 100,000. Somebody can make or go down another road.
I'm okay with the, bringing it down to the 20%. But, I'm also would entertain any other
Do
suggestions.
you want to make a
I-
friendly amendment?
Well, I
What's
would
the-
even take it down more because if you looked at that map, how much of that percentage was wetlands and easement based on that property?
I guess, Ross, I just had, my question when I was, looking at it was just, why wouldn't there have been something on that, already some kind of condition adjustment on that?
Yeah, this is Russ. My guess is that over the years, nobody has ever looked at every wetland map. I mean, GIS is relatively new. I don't think it's been used very much in the past. I mean, I personally use it, but I don't know how extensively it was used prior to me.
John, did you have a number then that you were thinking?
I was gonna go higher than 20%, but I don't have a number in mind. Go
This is
21%.
This is Kathleen. Ross, can you try like 20% or 25% off the land? What does that do to that property?
This is Harold. 25% will get them to that 887,900 number, or pretty close to it.
Yeah.
I get, when I put 20% off on the land, I get 992,700.
Right? And if it's 30% off,
I was going to do 25. That was the next ask.
yes.
966,200. That didn't seem to move enough.
This is Harold. As Catherine said, I believe that every Well, again, it depends on the curve, right?
No.
It doesn't. So
Now we're just taking chunks off.
all right, so it's
Um,
$53,000 per 10%.
Right. So at 30%, it's 939,600.
I'll be willing to make a friendly motion to that number.
I will second. Catherine will second.
Wait,
All
can
right.
you go through can you speak the motion though, please?
Yes. Okay. So Ross, what was the number you got to with 30% off?
It is 939,600.
Okay, I would like to make a motion to amend the value, the appraised value on this to 939,600 from what was originally stated of 887,900 and was it 900 we said? True?
Yeah, this is Harold, yes.
939,600.
Yes,
Yes.
and the previous number, this is Harold speaking, was 887,900.
So I'm making a motion to change that number to 939,600.
And we had a second. All those in favor of granting the amendment to grant in part to 939,600, raise your hand. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in favor. Opposed? I have 1 opposed. That's Alexis. The motion is carried on the amendment 5-1-0. And now to vote on the original amendment to grant in part to the request to the new number of 939,600. All those in favor, please raise your hand. I have 5 in favor. Opposed? Abstaining?
I am opposing. Alexis is opposing.
Opposing, okay. The motion is carried. The vote is 5-1-0 to grant Appeal 261 in the amount of $939,600. Thank you.
Ross, this is Kathleen. Can you also just put in the notes traffic as well? Because he mentioned the traffic. It's a combination of all those things. Traffic, it's the wetlands, it's the conservation easement. So I think they're right at the street. Most of the houses in there are set back from the street, but they are right at the road.
Let me just say that it is now 7:40. We do have 6 members present for our quorum. If anyone feels that they would like to take a break, 15, 20 minutes, you're welcome to do so.
Did you want to take a break, Harold? This is Kathleen. You started at 5.
I'll take a break and I'll join you back here at 8 o'clock. I'll be back. Thank you. Kathleen, will you take over for me to chair?
Yeah, or Peter's the vice chair. He's
Yes, Peter,
unless he doesn't want to.
vice chair.
I could do that. All right.
Good.
All right, Harold, come take some
Good to be the king.
take some time. All right, everybody. So I am done with the appeals that I have prepared. Is anyone ready to go with another appeal?
I can go if nobody else wants to go.
Okay, John, go ahead, please.
Okay. On this one, we need to probably put our thinking caps on. This is appeal number 323. Okay. The appellant is John and Liz Lyons. This is at 863 Holland Hill Road. The town has a value of $491,900, and I'd like to make a motion to grant the requested value of $435,000.
Catherine will second.
Thank you. Okay, so this one here is mainly over the land value. And I think what we may end up seeing here is with kind of what we did before with the last one here. So you'll see that on page, on page 4 on the card, they have a condition of 1 for the land value. But then you start getting into, on page 6, which I have to rotate here to give it to you a little bit more. I think I rotated too much on my screen. There we go. We have a national flood insurance program playing here with it. And one of the big cases that they had here is that they are in a flood zone. So overall, the house is a small 2-bedroom house that had a second floor added in the 2000s. The property is in a flood zone, but the house is on the top of the hill. You can't build out of the footprint as the wetlands runs through here. Slope of the property runs into the flood zone and wetlands. Again, they can't do much with the house. Also, it's very close to I-95. They did have a hard time finding comps to the house, but their first comp that they added was on comp 1. They state that they're in the Grassmere watershed area. And they're supporting in the following areas, they're supporting documentation about being in wetlands and such. They did make a BAA appeal in the past to change the bedrooms to 2 from 3. And really feels that there's a big increase on land based on not being able to subdivide and not being able to build on it any further because of the wetlands. Now, I did send this to Ross, I think, and Ross came back down below. I think, Ross, you gave me like neighbor houses and if there were any discounts on the land with that. And I think one of them had a discount because, yeah, on page 34, I have to spin myself around here. So on 683, there's no adjustment. Looks like next door on 847, there was a 5% for the highway. On the odd side that they have there, I think it was 889 to 963. There was no adjustment. And then there's some other things on there. So any questions, thoughts? I'm gonna look up and do the search with the wetland map here.
This is Kathleen. I do see that 887 Holland Hill Road, is that their neighbor or so?
That's next door to them.
Yeah, sold for 480 in June of 19.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, this is Russ. You can see the wetlands and the rear of the property, and then the green line would be the setback.
So actually the setback goes right corner to corner of their house.
Mm-hmm.
So half of
Yep.
it's in the setback, half of it's out of the setback.
And most of the
Kathleen, you said you
neighbors
have a
too.
garage in the setback. Yeah, it goes right through. The one that sold is to the left there, I think. That Castani or Reamer is the sale on it for 480.
And can you pull up anything else about that 480? Because this is a 2-bedroom house built in 1874 and is less than 1,200 square feet.
But they
Right.
did add a second story onto it.
But that is including it. It was a
Yeah.
600 square foot house, and then they put the 2 bedrooms upstairs. I would assume
The
it's only
addition,
1.5 baths, and it's built in 1874.
Right. The sale is a 1,400 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath Cape on 0.2 acres.
And
That
that's
sold
sold
in
Sorry,
480
480.
in June of 19. So that's a little older sale. That does not have a traffic adjustment on it.
So as far as comps go that they put in here, I'm just going up the sheet because they didn't put it in the grid.
They do have a grid.
They
They
do?
do have a chart.
Okay. I must have skipped that.
It's kind of far up, just past the maps. There's a picture of their view of I-95, and then there's
Yep. Oh, there we go. Okay. So comparable one, they said was 1728 Jennings would be the most comparable to them as far as the structure goes. As you can see, there's not much difference in square feet. They're a little bit bigger acreage, but I don't know if that 1728 Jennings Road has any type of, wetlands on it.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Not based on where it is.
black parcel,
So,
not flood zone. That's what they said there.
okay. Oh, yeah. It's on a flat, not in a flood zone. So, I mean, all the comps that they have here that they're comparing themselves to, definitely, are in the time period that they're showing here. With the earliest being November of 18 for a comparable number two, but I mean, the land is 4 times bigger on their house. And they have an extra bedroom, but for some reason it, sold for 282, but it's also located 897 feet from I-95.
I mean, I don't think they could build on it, but it is in Zone B, according to the field card, which is a multifamily zone. Don't know that they could build in those wetlands, but, a multifamily might have, if that matters to anybody. Over Jennings, I don't think is in the B zone.
You'll also see on page 10 with there that they mentioned that they're in the X and the AE flood zones there as well. And the Grassmere and the Grassmere watershed is what she mentioned. So I mean, I do feel that they are based on, the setback, even though the wetlands are just at the border of their field. The setback, with the setback going right through their house that they have in a fairly substantial portion of the land. I kind of do feel that there should be something taken off with that, since it's non-buildable.
This is Kathleen. Yeah, and they have the traffic. I mean, 95, definitely home
Yep.
street, and then the entrance ramps and everything are right there. So,
So I guess I'm open to suggestions here as to if there's anything somebody thinks that we could do or should do for this property.
sorry to sound like a broken record, but a land condition code of 0.85 will give them a little more than what they want, and 0.9 will give them a little less than what they want. I think.
I mean, I like this is Kathleen, I like 0.9, some for the traffic and some for the wetlands. You know, whatever that number that would bring them. Get the 863 Holland Hill.
Kathleen,
That's
you
my-
know, I didn't hear all of this, but I do know the location. I'm listening to some of it, and I really think you got to adjust for the traffic here. And
That's what I said.
yeah, I agree with you completely. And whatever it is, I mean, to help them, yeah. You know, I think they're well within reason.
So Ross, could we have you crunch the numbers? Oh,
Sure. Judy, can you comment on the 887 Holland Hill Road that right next door that sold in 2019?
I have my MLS up, so just 1 second.
Yeah, that one's bothering me because this is Kathleen, because the other comps are much lower than that one. And I don't know why that sold so high. That doesn't sound right to me. It's a smaller house.
818 Holland?
887.
Oh, 887. Okay, 1 sec.
Yeah, this is Ross. While we're waiting, 10% off gets us to 450, 400.
Well, okay, so did anybody look at some of the interior pictures there? They're like an oversized Sub-Zero. That kitchen is absolutely stunning. The stove, stainless steel gas stove. The house looks picture perfect, and it will sell for more because it looks picture perfect. And it has central air. Did this one have central air, or did we look at that? The subject have central air? No.
I don't know the answer to that. Let me double
The
check.
subject property is a 1874
No,
Two-bedroom.
central.
house.
All right, so cast iron baseboard heat and central air both. The place looks absolutely stunning, staged beautifully, but apparently like they live that way. It's absolutely gorgeous inside. Really well done.
You're talking
And
about,
the terrace is finished. The lower level is also finished on them. So
And if you had a little girl, you wouldn't have to paint anything because clearly there was a little girl in that house.
the lower level is really nice too. Let me just look at one other thing.
Ross, could you give us what a 15% would be, please?
Sure. $429,600.
I'm open to either.
yeah, this is Kathleen. I don't know if I want to give them all that. I'm not saying that they don't need to be where they asked to be. If in fact the house next door is really much nicer, that was the only thing that was bothering me was the comp next door, right? Because they have the same highway issues and whatever on that property, and that sold for 480. But I don't like to take the condition factor down too much unless we're doing it primarily for the wetlands, only because then everybody else wants it if it's just for the traffic. And I'm seeing a 0.95 for traffic on some of the others. I'm not seeing, you know, anything at a 0.85 for traffic. So if we said traffic and wetlands together, I don't know.
Which I think either way that we would do, I would think that we'd want to put on traffic and wetlands because they are two factors of this house. But
I would like to make a motion to a friendly motion. Is that what I'm saying? What it's called?
or just a motion to amend.
To a motion to amend to a value of 450 $250,400.
I'll second that.
All right, so all those in favor of this friendly or this amended motion to 450,400, please raise your hand. Okay, all those opposed?
Alexis opposes.
Alexis opposes, okay. And those abstaining. Okay, so we had 3 votes for, 1 opposed, and 2 abstentions for that motion. All right, so now we're going to vote. So the motion carries. And now we're going to vote on the appeal for appeal number 323. All those in favor of granting the in part the requested value of 450,400, please raise your hand. And all those opposed? Okay, and abstentions. Okay, so the motion carries is 4 in favor, 1 opposed, and 1 abstaining.
Anybody?
Peter?
Oh, go ahead.
Peter?
Judy.
I have a point to mention because you said at the when you made the motion to go for the 450, you said that was what the appellant wanted, and I didn't think the appellant wanted that. I think we adjusted it.
I said, right, I said granted in part.
I thought I heard you say appellant. I thought that's what I heard you say.
This is Kathleen. He said requested value, and that is they technically didn't request it, so you're both kind of right. He said grant in part. He probably shouldn't have used the word requested. He just should have said to a value of, because it's not what they asked for, but he did say in part. So I know we struggle with that amendment language. I think it's grant in part to a appraised value of rather than to a requested value of when it's amended.
We do that the proper way just to make sure that we're all in accordance
This is
with
Kathleen. Yes, I've asked both Prue and Kathy to do it in the minutes that way, so it's consistent when we do it, that it's not requested value once the minutes are, once the motion's amended to a value other than what they asked for.
Okay. Okay.
This is Harold. I'm back.
Welcome back, Harold.
It's good to be back.
So you can see, Harold, I'm screwing things up here. So if you want to jump back in, feel free.
No, you're not. No, you're doing great.
Is there someone else who's prepared to present petition?
I can go ahead.
Great.
Who's the
Thank
chairman
you,
right now?
Alexis. I'm sorry, Alexis.
I said, Peter, who is the chairman right now? I see.
I'm going to remain chairman for the time being, unless Harold, you want to jump back in.
No, that's okay. I'm enjoying
Let me find my,
you carrying the ball.
All right.
sorry, I'm just looking for my list. Sorry.
Okay.
Got
This
it
is
up
Kathleen.
now.
Yeah, you only have 3 left in Tunsis Hill appeal, 32, 295, and 474. So I think that would finish all the ones you have. The only thing you would have left would be Fairfield Beach Road, I think. So if we get through those 3, that would be nice for you to have those completed tonight. I mean, we don't have to, but might be
No,
nice.
very good. That sounds good. Yeah, okay, here I am.
32, 295, and 474.
Yeah, I was at 295 right now, but my computer is acting incredibly slow, so I can't be quick about it. So bear with me. Sorry.
And then I have 4 on my list. If we can get to some of those, I'd be happy to do those.
Okay. Sorry, my links are okay. Here we go. Okay. All right. This is appeal number 295. This is 440 Villa Avenue, and this is a 3-family wood shingle clapboard house. and the owner is Nancy Lindell. And just for background, she's quite elderly. She grew up in the house. She inherited the home, I believe, from her parents. And she's asking, so the town has valued it at $487,700, and $700,000, and she'd like to obviously lower that. So I would like to make a motion to bring it down to fair market value of 410 to 420. So, all right, so she did not put a definitive number on it. So I am going to say $420,000.
Catherine will second.
Great. Thank you. So she believes
Alexis,
the
what
town.
was I'm sorry, could you just repeat the number again? The value
Yeah,
number?
so she put a range. So I'm going to let's say $420,000.
Thank you.
Um, okay. So the house she was pleased. So again, this house. So just for background, I think this is kind of, it's not super relevant, but this is a generational home. Her family has been there for a long time, and just for more context, she's been approached by developers to sell the home, probably to build, affordable housing complexes in this neighborhood, but she has resisted and wants to really stay here. She loves Fairfield. She loves that area of Fairfield. But the house is in need of extensive renovations, as you can imagine. It's a very old home. The first floor is in immaculate condition, she said. That's that's where she lives. And she rents out the second floor unit, which is in pretty good shape. The third floor is in terrible condition, she said, and there's really not a whole lot you can do with it. So that's just for context. And this is my personal belief. I think it's great to have diversity in our town, especially I think it's great to keep older folks in town too. So I kind of have that lens when I'm looking at this appeal. She submitted some photos along with comps that are in the file. Looking through them. Sorry, it's been a while since I looked at this file.
I'd like to just bring attention to everybody for a particular house on Villa Avenue, and I know of it. It's a two-family. It looks horrible on the outside. Inside is not that much better. And this one took 6 months to take a deposit at 409. So if
This isn't the subject's house though, right?
no, it's just down the street from the subject
Oh,
house.
yeah. Okay.
And it's not sold yet, it's not closed yet. It is under deposit. And it's under deposit now at 409. We don't know what it's selling for, but we know it's not selling over 409. It took 6 months to get there. So my thought is, and that house, I know there's a bunch of houses on that street that really just look, the deferred maintenance is like very obvious on a number.
It is, and this is one of them, and she's, very, candid about that. And you can see through some of the pictures that she submitted. It's not in great shape, but it's her home. It's her egg, that's her.
It's all
nest
normal
egg,
to
if you
her.
will.
It's all
Yeah,
normal
that's
to
where
her.
she grew up,
lived
too.
there for her whole life. So she's not out of whack. She's not out of whack.
Yeah, and I also, want to acknowledge, I think it's important for people to be able to afford to stay in Fairfield. If we can help them, I think that's great. She's obviously older. You can look in the backyard, not so great either. So you can, some of the comparables, Castle Avenue, which is brand new. What else? Vesper Street, that's in the area too.
Wait, are you looking, Alexis, at the People's Bank small residential one?
Yep.
I think things got.
That-
Go
That
ahead,
looks like
John.
it, as I say, that looks like, I thought I saw somewhere that this was done in 2000. No. When was this appraisal done?
I think the appraisal's done for another property.
Wait, so are you saying this is the wrong?
I think so. This is Harold speaking. I think the picture of the subject house in the appraisal does not look like the subject house that is being appealed. The date of this appraisal is 2/23/2020, but the picture of the property does not look like the subject property. And the address of the,
Country Road,
Country Road.
295 Country Road. Yeah.
I think things got scanned to the wrong.
Oh, I see what you're saying. All right, you're right. All right.
But I just want to, Alexis, I just want to draw attention to pages 4 and 5. And what the appellate is saying here is that on page 4, basically it was bought for $384,750, knocked down, and then resold to the current owner for almost $700,000. And then 331 or 311 Country Road was same situation, bought for 380. They're the same ones. No, they're looks like same price, but bought at 387.5, knocked down, rebuilt right away, and sold for 1.140 million. So I'm assuming that the appellant does not want us to take the last sales price because it was knocked down and rebuilt and is using the highlighted ones, or as far as their appeal goes.
so again, this is Harold. I think the property that we're looking at does not relate to the documentation that's in the file. I don't know
Yes,
if there's another appeal that
that's
relates.
yeah. I'll let someone go ahead while I get organized here. But maybe I don't know how we can get the right data in here or the right documents.
Yeah,
Well,
Ross, go
on
ahead.
page 39, I see photographs of the interior. Oh my gosh, this poor woman. Has anybody scrolled down that far? Page 39?
I'm getting
I
there.
have. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, there was peeling paint. That has to do with some water damage, a lot of cracked plaster, the outside of the house. Yeah, it needs paint. It's going to need a lot of new shingles too. It's going to need a very big rehab or raise it.
Yeah, and again, she really wants to stay here.
Sure. Ross, did you have something that you were going to add?
Yeah, the appraisal does not belong to that appeal. So
Ross?
everything from page 4 to page
38.
38. And there is one other page that she submitted that has 3 similar properties, so I'd like to scan that in for you.
Okay.
And Ross, also, this is Harold, I would like to ask if we do have a property with an address being appealed.
It's appeal number 51. All of that Country Road stuff needs to be moved over to appeal 51.
That's no problem.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what I meant to clarify.
Alexis, can we, are you comfortable with just withdrawing this for right now?
Yeah, I'm going to withdraw the motion, Peter.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, this is Kathleen. I mean, can we take the depreciation down and get close to what she wants if it's really in that bad a shape? The depreciation code is 4.
I also see that her assessment on the dwelling really took a jump.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
It was
I
at
don't even know.
109 and it more than doubled. So there's definitely something going on there. I'm with you, Kathleen. I think there could definitely be an adjustment made to the dwelling.
Yeah, it says it's 63% good. If those are the accurate photos, I think the depreciation can come down to 3 or even 2. We probably can get her where she wants to be on a 3,000 square foot home.
Oh, well, I did withdraw the motion, so am I going to get back on the table?
Did anybody second your withdrawal?
I think I'll ask the chairman, but I believe I withdrew it for his request.
Right. So if you want to, restate the motion, then we can proceed. If you feel like we have, if this is, you don't need to regroup on this particular thing. I was just giving you.
I know how I feel confident to vote in favor of this. I can't speak for the others, but yeah, I'll put the table back on. Put the motion on the table.
This is Harold. I think we can bring this back and make another motion. And we can also ask the assessor's office what a number would look like to see how different it would be if we put a condition factor of 2 on this property. Ross, would you have a ability to do
I'm
that
working on
for
it.
us? Thank you.
Condition 2 puts the value at 413,300, and the file online is updated if you refresh.
Perfect.
Thank you. That new code does bring it to the range she was asking for.
All right, then
Repeat that.
I think the steps, if we wish to do so, would be to make an amended motion to that number, the 413,000 and the rest, and then we can vote on that as the number we wish to accept.
Great. Do I have I'll put the motion back on the table then. I would, I don't think it's on yet, right? Back on?
I
You
was
can-
a little confused, so I didn't actually write down that it was withdrawn, but, I mean, we can do whatever.
Yeah, no problem.
We can
I did state that it was being withdrawn, so I will just for, I don't know, consistency, I will just say I'd like to make a motion to appeal 440 Villa Avenue to have it come down to $420,000.
I'll second it.
Thanks, John.
Yep.
Okay,
All
I'm
those in
sorry,
favor-
I'm confused about this.
So we just-
They're in
This is
part,
the
what was
original
Ross's
motion?
number?
Right, okay, so we would just approve, we were just be redoing the original motion, which was for 420,000. Now we're gonna make
Okay, thank you.
a friendly motion or an appeal, we're going to amend the motion to the 413, I don't know what was it 413?
Or 13-2.
413-2. Okay, so,
Who wants to make that motion?
Harold, did you
This
want
is
to say
Ross,
something?
it's 413.3.
Oh, 3, sorry.
Deal breaker.
Excuse me, I think the original motion that Alexis had made was to reduce $420,000, which was the number that the appellate had given as the upper range of what was requested. So if we accept that number, then we do not have to have an amendment, I don't believe. Kathleen?
This is Kathleen. I'd rather get the depreciation on the property down to 2 and do it so that it gets to the number in there rather than to have him put on overrides on it. So the depreciation will stick. So if Alexis wants to make it for her 410, then it becomes an amend in part to 413 as opposed to the 420. Then it ends up, being lower than what she asked for, which is a little bit awkward. And given that she gave the range of 410 to 420, I think if Alexis does a friendly amendment or whatever, it says 410, and then we can grant in part to the 413,300. I would recommend doing it that way.
I completely agree, Kathleen. That's the right way to do it.
Okay, I will make a motion to, I will make a motion to lower the appraised value of 442 Villa Avenue to $413,000.
Or 410. Say 410.
Sorry, 410, excuse me. Sorry, I hit the 413 in my head. 410.
It's Kathleen, I'll second it.
Thank you.
All those in favor, raise your
No, we're
hand.
going to make an amendment. We're going to make an amendment.
That's the
Oh,
amendment
okay.
to the amendment, right?
So now
we have to
you
ma-
wish to make an amendment, Alexis, to the 14,000,
I'm making an amendment. I'm a little confused.
4,013,
Or I thought
430.
I just said that. Sorry. Did I just say that or no?
No, you said 410, but he's saying to make an amendment now.
Okay, I'll make a
Grant in
mo-
part to 413.
300.
300.
413, 300.
Right, to grant in part.
I will make a motion to, or make a friendly amendment, I guess it is. I'm not.
It's a
not
regular
saying it on
amendment.
rules.
Yeah.
Okay, of, down to, 413, 300.
I'll second that. Judy?
All those in
Right.
favor?
Oh, Harold, are you taking over already? I was
All
used
those
first.
in favor, raise your hand.
Wait,
I'm sorry, Peter, I jumped the gun.
he's so used to it.
Go ahead, Harold. It's your show, buddy.
I take back the chair. It's like musical chairs, right? Somebody's gotta be left standing up. All right, all those in favor, raise your hand. It's unanimous, the amendment to reduce in part to $413,300. Now, going back to the original motion, all those in favor of granting this appeal in part to $413,300, please raise your hand. It's unanimous. The vote is 7-0-0. Thank you. Boy, after this, everybody can be on the Supreme Court.
This is Kathleen. I'm going to go grab something to eat. I think dinner's finally ready. So I'm going to go take a quick break.
Okay,
You bring dinner for all of us too?
we're back.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that good. You might not, no, I shouldn't say
How about
that.
a
till I
bottle of
see.
wine for all of us?
That, that works for me.
Okay.
Alexa,
Wine is
thanks
not
for
strong enough.
sticking that one out. At the end, I think it was a win-win. So thanks for sticking with it, Alexis.
Yes,
Thank
Alexis,
you for your help here.
we want to help, and we'd like to ask if
appreciate
you would
that.
like to do those two more.
I'm just going to take a vocal break for now. I'll let John or somebody else take a turn right now.
I think I'm the only one left with stuff, because
Oh, are you? Okay.
Peter ran the board. You're close to running.
I have a
Harold?
few, but let's see if we can finish east of North Benson.
Okay.
Go for it.
It'll be a challenge.
Do you have any there, Harold, or is it just me that's the straggler? Quirky little
Just
puppy.
you, I
One?
have Tungus and Fairfield Woods.
Okay. All right. I won't be able to close out east and North Benson because there were a couple open items, I think, that we have. One of them we asked Ross's group to go out and look at. And then I think there's also a second one that they're going to go look at. Okay, so let's go with appeal number 57. This is at 167 Lovers Lane. The owners and appellants are Michael and Carol Goodzik. They have a town value of the property of $469,200. And I would like to make a motion to grant their requested value of $296,000.
I'll second that. Judy?
Thank you.
Judy has seconded it.
Okay. So the first thing that they know or they stated is that people are buying houses and are inflating the prices due to COVID. They mentioned that there's condos across the street, and I guess, Ross, are you able to, on the map, be able to see, I mean, are we like breaking zones something like that with Lover's Lane on one side versus another? Do you know off the top of your head? Or if there's different
Yeah, this
zoning?
is Russ. Give me a second. I'll look it up.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, I can see on the aerial there is a duplex condo right across the street.
Okay. And I believe they stated that it's two-family zoning, and I'm assuming that that would be correct, unless there was some kind of special dispensation. They did
I
put
just show it's Zone A.
Zone A. Okay. On further in the file here, you'll see on page 8, which is the last page, that they have provided comps. They're the ones with the living area circled are comparable square feet to their property as to what was sold. They don't understand how others can go down when they have more land than the plot at 167. They did call out their neighbor across the street at 150 Lovers Lane, saying they have a lot of items missing from their card and their taxes went down, and it was a two-family house. And then the last thing they mentioned is the shed is not a permanent fixture. I think it's hard for, at least for me, and I don't know about others, but when we're talking about two-family houses versus a single-family house, it's hard to compare those with what they told me. But as you can see here, they do have a long list of houses that sold within the time frame here. You know, square feet living area circled that is comparable to theirs. But I'm looking at it and, you know, sales price is $517 for the one on Knollwood Drive. You've got one on High Street that was $340. Another one on Borowski, which was $410. And I do appreciate that on the right-hand side, you'll see that they're all in the same neighborhood code, these comps. So that's good that they did that. But any thoughts or comments, questions?
I've got a thought. I'm not inclined to grant that 296. I don't think the 328, 440 is out of whack. That's it. It's not 296. No, I don't see that. I don't see that. So that's all. That's all I'm going to say.
How many,
Anybody
this is Harold, how many bedrooms does this have?
This has
3 bedrooms and 2 baths.
0.22 acres, 1,229 square feet.
There's no, on the land, it's a 1.0 condition.
Right, okay. And the shed, this is Harold, the shed appears to be the small structure that we see to the left in the rear. And there's a car parked outside, so we don't know if there's a garage.
It does not look like there's a garage on the outbuildings on the card.
And are the numbers that he's requested, it looks like they might be an assessed value, not appraised value. So Judy, that 296 may not be the.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'm looking at that. Okay. Yeah, we need to,
Gross up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
could somebody please check my eyes? I think I'm looking at 328 being the assessed value, not the appraised of 469.
Ross has given that a thumbs up.
Sorry, I wasn't looking that way. I was looking
That's
at this
okay.
other screen.
Normally, I'm not looking at Ross either, but I just happened to catch it.
Yeah.
No offense, Ross.
This is Ross. If you bring the 296 up to value, it's 422,900.
So Judy, the 296, he's not asking for
I'm looking at it.
422.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, okay, see, so guys, I don't approve everything. I told you. I said, no, that's not good.
There's no way.
Okay, so can I restate the motion then, for clarification?
Please.
I would like to restate the requested value to be $422,900, which would equal the assessed value of 296,000.
For the record, I just calculated the town's value, which is 469.2.
Okay.
Correct. By the town.
Yep. And
Yeah.
that's what the town has. That is correct.
All right, I'm very confused.
That's okay.
Sorry,
Join the
Prue.
rest of us. Okay, how can we help you, Prue?
Well, I'm wondering about the motion that you just made. So are you guys, I'm sorry, making the motion to approve the request of 296 or 422?
422 now. Originally, because on the
Okay.
requested value, they put 296, but we came to realize that that on the application on page 1 of the file, the numbers they were using were the appraised value or the assessed values and not the appraised values.
Okay, so it's
that is correct.
422.9?
Correct.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Everybody, are we all together now?
This is Harold, I believe so. Yes, yes.
Okay. All right.
So, in terms of supporting documentation for this request, do we have sufficient documentation looking at that list of the
On
15 or
page
so
8.
homes that were listed? This is Harold. John, did they highlight any particular residences that they felt were good comps for them?
They did. It's the one with the square or with the living areas circled. Okay, so we've got 76 Country Road. We have 111 Borowski. We have 425 High Street. We have 272 Knollwood in there, and we have 115 Tuckahoe. That's the ones they wanted to highlight that they felt were the most comparable houses based on square footage of living area.
Oh, real estate folks, are these streets comparable to the subject's property, street?
Okay, so Lover's Lane is better than Pulaski, better than High. Knollwood is similar. Tuckahoe, somewhat similar. But I throw Borowski out. I wouldn't look at that or High.
What about Country Road?
What about Country Road?
Possibility. It depends on what side of the street on Country Road, really.
Oh, that's interesting. Yep.
Which part, whether it's the beginning or the end, not the side of the street, but the beginning and the end.
Well, Knollwood and Tuckahoe sales are over 500, and Country and Borowski are like 380 and 410. So there's a
Borowski, no, I don't see I don't see the subject as being on the level of Boroski. No, it's above it.
So Knollwood and Tuckahoe are both over 500,000.
The Knollwood is slightly better. But High Street, also, that's not as good as the subject either. I know it's close, but it's High Street. And so,
And they have 9,000 square feet of land. Like the Country Road one has 22,000. High Street has a little bit more land, about 2,000 more. The Knollwood one has almost 20,000 square feet more of land on that one, which is probably maybe why they have the 517.5 sale price. But yet the Tuckahoe one has about 5,000 extra square feet, and that went for 510 as well.
Okay,
469.
What's that?
And he is currently below that. He's at 469.
Two.
It's just if
Correct.
and,
we
and
put in
this is Harold, the Country Road is an outlier because it does have more land. It has 22,770 square feet. And yet it's sold for somewhat less. Looks like there's it's a 3-bedroom, 1 bath and a half, whereas the subject property is a 3-2, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Any thoughts, or should we call a vote? I'd like to call a vote. I'll call a vote.
I'll wait for Peter to.
Oh, no. All those in favor of granting this appeal to the requested amount of
422,900.
22,900, please raise your hand. I have 2 in favor of granting this appeal. All those opposed, raise your hand. I have 4 opposed. Motion is not carried. This appeal is not granted, is denied. The vote is 2 in favor, 4 opposed, no abstentions.
I get another one?
Yes.
Okay. So the next one I want to bring up is appeal number 230. The owners are Richard and Jean O'Connor. The property address is at 46 Reed Street. The town has a value of $572,000, and I would like to make a motion to change that, or to reduce it to $475,000, as even though it says on there we have some, on the original one they said 500. Their son Dylan O'Connor was the one who presented and asked for it to be reduced to 475,000.
I'll second.
Thank you. Okay, on this one here, they did some comps, but it doesn't look like there were any comps in the file here that made, or with it. With the average price of 462,000, the land is more than the comps. They state that the backyard is wetlands and is always wet. They did do an update to 1 bath a long time ago, but has not done any updates since they bought the house. If you look at what they have here, The house was bought in 1998 with it. So really, they've said not much is done. I don't know as far as, let me go to the GIS and take a look at any, wetlands near there, but there's no condition on the card for wetlands.
It's a 1,180 square foot home, by the way.
And
Okay.
1,180 square feet. It's low.
John, this is Harold. Could you repeat again what the town's value is and what the appellate's requested value is?
The town's value is 572,000 and the ask value is 475,000.
Thank you.
And when I look on GIS, it's actually an odd shaped lot. I want to say it kind of looks like Oklahoma, but it's not. Oklahoma was, kind of more angular and flipped. Yeah, that's what it may look like. And let me see here. There's no split. According to that, there's no special flooding zone. Let me just take a look at the.
That is an interesting lot. I'm looking at it, and they got a long driveway to get in. It looks like there was a big triangle, and at one point, somebody decided to keep the back triangle and subdivide the front 3 lots.
Yep.
Yep. Oh, thank you, Ross. Okay, so it does look like that there is some wetlands on the property in the backyard that are there. And there's no buffer zone, or there's probably some buffer zone there, but
This is Ross. I have to switch.
applications.
Hungry, Ross?
So it looks like between the wetland, actually their house is in the buffer zone of the wetlands that are on there.
Ross, this is Kathleen. Are those other lots where all the wetlands are those just all other private properties that back up to that? Or is there some town land or something in there?
I believe
This
that's-
is Ross. I don't. These 2 are vacant. I don't know who owns them. Let me see if I can find that out. But the others.
I just curious when you click on the other parcel. Okay.
We need to announce that Kathleen is back.
Sorry, yes, like 8, just as you were making the motion. So I heard it when I was walking in.
This is Ross. Both of those 2 lots here are owned by the same person.
Now there is just to.
And they're owned by.
Go ahead. There is already a 0.05 discount on the land for the access shape on this one. But there's no mention of wetlands or buffer zone or anything like that.
This is Harold. Was that mentioned by the appellant?
The appellant mentioned that as far as the access shape, they did, I believe in the appeal, because I did make a comment already that they did have a 0.95 condition on that with the, access shape, but he did mention wetlands on there, which it doesn't seem like we've captured on the card anywhere. Actually, he mentioned that his sons go back there and play and get muddy all the time. So,
This is Harold. So if we did some adjustment for the wetlands, would that get him down as far as his requested amount of 475?
I doubt it. Because even if we took another 10% off, that would be.
That would be
another
$43,000
or something like that, close to there, a little bit more than that. But still, it wouldn't get them down to what they're asking for, a 475.
Right.
Go ahead.
We don't have any picture of the house or anything? No.
Nope, just what's on the field card.
Am I looking at the wrong thing? Because it's blank on the card. Oh, no. Yeah.
You can't see it from the street. I didn't even know they could have rear lots there. I mean, at best, it's a rear lot.
This is Ross. I got a picture on the screen.
It's a split level with a front porch and a garage.
Well, that makes a little more sense now, because the town calculates the square footage of a split level it's a little unique way. So it's going to feel a lot bigger than that 1,180 square feet.
Yeah.
So, okay, now that makes more sense as for the pricing. But there's still, even at 475, that's probably much closer to where it is. It's not going to be 600. What's that other number?
572.
572. Yeah, it's not a 572 house. Not back then. When I say it's not, I mean as of the time. I'm not talking today. I'm talking as of October 1, 2020.
So based on what Ross showed us, it does seem that with the wetlands and the buffer zone, which it basically the buffer zone encompasses the house and the odd shaped lot that's on there. There's really not much usable land, I think, that they can work with to make it bigger, unless they build it out the front, and even then I'm not sure how much it is.
Is it a non-conforming lot? I just didn't think you could have a rear lot in there, which again is going to be problematic. So I'm all for coming up with a number and dropping that neighborhood code. I think that's a real problem. I don't know how they get there. I can't see through the trees. I'm sure there's some type of driveway, but.
The driveway, you can see the driveway.
Yeah.
It's very obvious where the driveway is.
I'm sorry?
It's obvious where the driveway is.
Yeah, but you have to drive through other houses and to the back, right?
No, you're driving through your driveway. There is a house on the left and a house on the right.
Yeah, so it's a recessed lot. This is Kathleen, right? It's recessed in the back. I don't know, it's not a right of way, right? They actually own
No,
that.
that's their actual lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Kathleen. The problem is that the piece of property is just unusually large for the neighborhood, doesn't give them much value, and yet it's adding a decent amount to the value of their home, right? So I think that's when we bring down the condition factor on the property, like Catherine was saying, to a 0.85 or something. One, because they've got that recessed lot. Two, it might be a little wet. Three, it's awkward shaped. You know, and I'm seeing land values, a 0.3 acres around there is valued at 385, so that would take them down 50,000.
Yeah,
You know, if we were to get them closer to that,
again, he just has so much acreage.
that's the
You know,
problem.
land is at 432 because he has double the amount of land of everyone else.
Right. That's why I'd like to see his land come down, because his lot really isn't that any more valuable than anybody else. That acreage doesn't really doesn't help him very much. Not that he has to shovel a big long driveway. I don't know what else he's got there. Is that the split with the?
Yep. The
Yeah.
green dot
So
is
we
where
can-
the house is.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I mean, if you take the wetlands on it, and then if you also, the buffer zone.
This is Harold. So if you reduce it another percent to 85%, you get to 528,800, I believe.
I don't know, Russ, could you confirm that number if we took it down to 0.85 from a 0.95?
Sure.
Could we ask at a 0.8 as well?
I don't think it hurts.
15% off the land gets you to 526,400.
Okay.
And what does 0.8 get you, get us, Rod, or Ross? Sorry, getting tired.
I hear you. 20 off is 503,600.
Better.
What
I like that.
Okay.
Still over 500, but
Yeah, well, this is Kathleen, but he didn't really give us any comps or anything, right? I mean, there was not much to go with, so.
good point.
And it is it is a split. That's a decent sized house on that. It looks pretty big from the pictures. So I think he's got value in the house.
I think that the 526,400 is a good middle point between what the ask is and what the town value is.
526, 400. Yeah, that house looks big to me. It doesn't look like it's 1,100 square feet.
It's the way the town calculates the split. So, like as I mentioned earlier, I think I mentioned earlier, a split, well, it's going to feel a lot bigger when you go inside. It's just the way that the town calculates it.
A lot of roof line, right? I mean,
it's a split level, and raised ranches, by the way, they generally count as just the main level. So they're deceptive when you're looking at a square footage of what the town looks at. So they're bigger. It's bigger than that 1,180 square feet. It'll feel bigger.
Would you think it's probably closer to like 1,650, 1,700 of like living space?
The town's
You could add
definition.
another 443.
Right, we had another
This-
400 for
The finished raised basement area, which is what we don't count in living area, is 443 square feet.
Now you're looking at more like 1,500. Technically, that's livable.
a little over 1,600.
1623.
I was only off by 200.
Oh my.
So
you want the 526, 400, Harold? Is that where your head is?
I think that's a good midpoint. It's halfway between the ask and what the town has.
Okay.
Who's going to make the motion?
Well, I will make a motion to amend to a value of 526,400. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Kathleen has seconded. So now to vote on the motion to reduce the value
To amend.
to amend the value to 526,400. All those in favor, please raise your hand. It's unanimous.
Wait, what about
Six.
Alexis?
Zero.
Alexis?
Are you, oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Now I see you. How do you vote?
I vote in favor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. The vote is 7-0-0, and now to vote to grant this appeal in part to 526,400. Please raise your hand if you are in favor. I have 6 in favor. Opposed? Abstentions? I'm sorry, I didn't see a vote, Alexis.
Yes.
It's 7 in favor. It's unanimous. To reduce to $526,400. That was an easy one.
I just make things so complicated. It's me.
You
It's
said
not
it,
you.
we did it.
No, but I get it. So, okay.
These are not necessarily slam dunks. So I have one question. John, I think you could do one, but I'd like to get this Upper Greenfield Hill off the list.
Please do.
If Judy,
for it.
you're prepared to do number 80.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait, that was the one I think it was. I was trying to do. Wait a minute. And then work to be done, right? Wait a minute. 80, you want me to do?
If you're prepared to do so,
Um,
number 80,
which one, is that, I don't know, it's 1 second.
2470 Hillside Road.
Didn't we do something with this? Didn't we start this? We did. What happened to this yesterday? We were doing something with that. Hold on,
I don't recall.
I do. Wait a minute.
This is Kathleen. There's a possibility that I missed that it was decided on, when did you last do Greenfield Hill? That Judy last.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yes, that was decided yesterday, 500. Number
Okay.
80 was
So
approved.
now, so that's one less. Great. Okay.
That was approved.
I apologize. I try my best to get them all, but sometimes I miss them.
Kathleen, you do a heck of a job, so
Yeah.
don't be
Trying to
hard on
get there.
That's right.
650.
Remember the closing price because he closed? That was, and they came down with COVID. Yes.
Right. I would like to suggest that perhaps we go back to if you want to do another one
I
or
don't
two.
know if I really don't know if I've got one for that we can do in 5 minutes.
This is
Okay.
Kathleen. Alexis, did you finish yours? Because I know you're not here tomorrow night. She only had 2 left.
No, but I'll be on Thursday, right? We can finish them up on Thursday.
I was going to say, we don't have a meeting set for Thursday.
Oh, I'm
so
sorry, I think we did. Are
Oh,
we?
That's part of that was a discussion at the end, whether we wanted.
Well,
to
I can, I am available to meet up tomorrow at I can come back at 8 and do the last 2. I just have some late work calls.
Yeah, or we can decide, we can all, if we can get a quorum, we can, I can set up a special meeting for Thursday. Once we're into April, they're all special meetings, but I just need to give 24 hours
I mean,
notice.
I'm available on Thursday. It's up to the rest of the team. So whatever works.
Yeah, I have a quick question. This is John. Did we get approval from the town to extend into April, official approval?
This is Harold. I did request from the town attorney to give me some feedback as to where to stand with that. So let me just check my mail quickly and see if he has gotten back to me on this. I do have an email that just came through at 8:53 p.m. from Karen Wackerman. Let me just take a look.
That might be RTM stuff.
And that's RT Harold, that would not be, it would be
No.
from Jim
It's
Baldwin.
actually, yeah, it's a different related thing, unrelated.
I was told by the attorney today that he doesn't see any problem. It's just that there is still some discussion as to whether or not the first select woman wishes to extend to the May 15th date. But I assured him, to my best of my ability, that we are going to try to complete our deliberations as expeditiously as possible. But he understands that we have that requested date. And that's what, and he told me that he is supporting that request. So we have tomorrow to hear from him, the 31st of March, as to whether our extension is approved to May 15th, which, as I said, he is supporting. So chances are we will have a meeting on Thursday, a special meeting, and then utilizing the information that you provide as to your availabilities, I've asked Kathleen to put together a schedule that will give us sufficient time in April to complete all of our deliberations so that we can be happy, the town could be happy, and the appellants could be happy.
How many more do we have, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I think we've made a good run in the last few days. We probably have, well, I'll leave it up to Ross if he has that information. I think
I've got it. 378 to go. Almost halfway.
a large portion of those, I would say, a large portion are commercial. And I have a feeling that those can go quite quickly, perhaps even in one session, if we put our heads.
222 without the commercial.
222, okay. So we'll probably need a couple of sessions to do the commercials. And then we'll finish up with the bigger areas that we still have, such as Fairfield Beach.
And this is Kathleen. Yeah, we have, I mean, everybody, if you've been watching your list or whatever, we can get through these Tungus Hill and these east of North Benson. And I was recommending we do some beach, some beach stragglers tomorrow night. We will have the university area, which is fairly large, Mill Hill, which is also fairly large, and then Fairfield Beach, which is the largest at 65 or 70. I don't even remember how many appeals in that area, but 20% of the homeowners appealed. I did it, or 18.9% of the properties in Fairfield Beach, area appealed. We have a lot, that's going to be difficult. So we're trying to get all these other ones out of the way so we can clear our plates in our heads to, focus on that. So we make sure we don't waste a lot of time, but that we do a good, careful job with that. So that's sort of the plan, is to hopefully move into Mill Hill and University, maybe starting Thursday night and into next week.
So this is Harold. Kathleen, you would suggest that we all the commercials towards the end?
This is Kathleen. I think we were discussing the possibility of doing the commercials in the morning if we can get quorums 1 or 2 mornings a week to knock off some of the commercials and the multifamilies in the morning, so that the evenings can be left for, the people who are only available at night, and they don't have, most of them don't. John has a few commercial, but most everybody else who can only meet at night has just only single family residential. So that's why I sort of set it up that way, so we could sort of divide and conquer a little bit, but it's the residentials that take, as we know, those seem to take the most time. The single family homes take a lot of time.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think we will end our deliberations at this time. But if there's any questions regarding the scheduling, I'm open to hearing those. Yes, Kathleen.
So quick poll for Thursday. If we're going to notice a meeting tomorrow for Thursday night, do I have a quorum for Thursday? I think Catherine said she was available. Alexis said she was.
I'm available. Yep. I'm available at like 6.
Harold?
Maybe sooner, but I have to check.
Okay. John or Peter? Yes, no? John. Okay, that's enough to get us 5, whether we'll need that many, whether Ronique may be available as well. So maybe we'll just go for 6 o'clock on Thursday rather than trying to get a 4 o'clock start. Does that make sense?
I won't be available till 6, so.
Yeah, we struggle sometimes to start at 4, and Paulette may be back, but
Yes, I was going to ask, does anyone know what Paulette's schedule is this week?
I
This
do
is
not.
Kathleen. I haven't gotten anybody's beyond tomorrow just because we really haven't, whatever. We didn't know whether we have an extension, so we just haven't started. So I'll get through Thursday, then we'll try to see what, the nights look like next week and maybe Wednesday morning next week. If we maybe Wednesday mornings are our mornings that we try to do the commercials and the multifamilies once a week. Just makes for a long night on Wednesday nights, but.
All right, so we do have a quorum for 9:30 tomorrow morning,
Mhm.
and then also in the evening tomorrow.
At 4 tomorrow. Yes,
At
we have a
4
quorum
o'clock
tomorrow at 4. Mhm.
9:30 in the morning and 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yes. And the 4 o'clock, Bill Hurley's coming for a few quick minutes to address the board about one of the marsh properties between Roland and Lally. Try to keep that fairly brief and on point with that discussion. I think those properties are Harold's and not sure who has the other one
I
down
have
there.
some.
But yeah, but the ones with there were only 2 with questions about that, what was marsh area. It turns out it's not town land. It's actually a private property, but it's a large 1 acre wet parcel in between all of the other properties. So, and then, like I said, I'd like to try to get those beach ones. I think I sent everybody a list of the beach ones, and then I'll get in what from tonight. We'll see what else we have left over for tomorrow night. I think there were 12 in the beach, maybe one on Pratt Street. I think Judy has one, Harold has a couple, I have a couple, Catherine has one. John, you may have 1 or 2. The late hearings, the people that we just heard late, or else we had no decisions on because we were waiting for more information. But I think we're good to get those taken care of and off the plate. So, and then the rest of this east of North Benson, Tunsis Hill and all that. That should keep us busy.
Thank you, Kathleen, and thank you for giving this so much thought to organize it. I think it's very helpful more helpful than just pulling numbers out of a bag, so to speak.
I know I celebrate when I finish a neighborhood. That's a very good feel for me. So.
It's a goal.
It is
All
a
right.
goal.
Well,
Thank
I want
you.
to thank everybody. I think we did 14 or 15 today, somewhere in that range. Not bad. We'll get better at it, and I'm sure we'll finish sooner than we expect. We're close to it. But I want to ask if somebody wishes to make a motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, John. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Judy has seconded. I want to thank you all again. This meeting is over. It is 9:05 p.m. Thank you all.
Thanks, Harold. Thanks, everybody.
Good night.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a good night.
Good night.